Today on Side Scrollers, Black Myth Wukong is destroying the critics and setting records on Steam. Nintendo has a new museum, and I'm sorry, guys. Apparently, you're ugly. Today on Side Scrollers.
We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig.
You decide what you lose, not other people.
And Blabs.
I like pickles.
And co-hosted by our friends from around the internet. If you like common sense, hit that thumbs up button and, of course, the subscribe button. And join us Monday through Friday live at 11 a.m. Central Time. And now, broadcasting from our homes, it's time for the #1 gaming and entertainment podcast on God's green earth. It's time for Side Scrollers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com, and of course, SideScrollersPodcast.com. What is going on, everybody? Hey, good to see you, normal man. I am Stuttering Craig. Happy Tuesday to ya. Man, oh man. We got a lot to talk about today. As you saw, trying to test some things out. I'm going to have a little fun with the format and stuff over the next week or two. New thumbnail, new titling, all sorts of stuff. But as always, the same, Blabs. Hello, Blabs.
Hello, I did the big button pressing today. But anyway, also, hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I thought it was Wednesday. Yes, huge responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Big mouse pressing, clicky, like talking, hello, help me, help you. Yes.
That's right. You did great, Blabs. Way to go.
Thank you.
Seamless. Well, look, we got a lot going on today. We have video games breaking records. Mm-hmm. We got all sorts of data indicating that people don't like men playing video games.
You all suck, says one lonely Catwoman.
That's right. And I cannot wait to talk about this Nintendo Museum. This is very, very exciting to me. I saw this and I was like, ooh. So, yeah. Well, do us a favor, guys. You're going to see some changing in our titling, some changing in our thumbnails. As a matter of fact, I think we're going to keep this thumbnail as our regular thumbnail. So when you guys are scrolling through around 11 a.m. Central Time, just be on the lookout for that thumb right now. It's more of a generic thumbnail. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. If you know the Pat McAfee show, we are straight up stealing everything about that. Everything about it, right? Even the thumbnail. Go and look at their thumbnail side by side. Literally, it was like tracing their thumbnail. I'm stealing the whole shit. Why? Because they do this thing so well. And after talking to YouTube, they're like, just copy them. I was like, all right, sounds good. We'll just copy them. I'll tell you what, someone who cannot be copied in wonderful, monochromatic, black and white. It is our boy on Tuesdays, Razor Fist. Hello, buddy. How are you?
Hello. Not last Tuesday on account of I was dead, but yes.
Yeah.
Today I'm incrementally less deceased. So, yeah, I don't have to vote for only one political party now. So,
yay!
Oh, good. Hooray.
No 4 a.m. Razor Fist dumps for Side Scrollers. No.
Usually the viewership for Side Scrollers looks like this, and then in the middle of the night it just pops up for no reason.
Yes!
It's amazing how that works. It's crazy.
Hey, yeah, we're changing the F curve to the fist curve. That's what that is now.
The fist curve. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, we are kind of in a unique situation with you because you have kind of been off the reservation the last week or so. So a lot of the things we're going to talk about today are like the first time that you're hearing about these things, which is very, very fun and exciting. So it should be fun because you don't even know what's going on with Black Myth Wukong. You didn't know about the Nintendo Museum. I mean, we're talking about Michael Keaton being Batman today. Oh my God. Batman. And
I did catch his reaction to that where he does not care about them. Like, it's so obvious he does not care what movies he's in at all. He's like, it was a good check. Literally, he said it was a good check.
Yes.
What a mensch.
Right. My thought on, at least you're honest, right? If you're just going to be honest, like at a certain point, Michael Keaton, who's the other one? Harrison Ford. He's like, I just don't care. I just don't care. And you know what? Cool. That's fine. I love it. Love everything about that. Let's do it. But yes, we got a lot going on today. We're going to try to pop those little intros at the start. So me talking about what's going on the show doesn't really make sense. So just roll with us. But I would like to remind you guys, once again, we are on Rumble. We're live on X and on Instagram as well, Blabs, right?
Right. Apparently, Craig wants me to tell you something really, really violent, but I'm afraid we'll get taken down on YouTube. May I go on, Craig?
Yes. Just say in Minecraft afterwards.
Right, so I'm supposed to slit all of your throats in Power World. Well done.
Why? But why?
If you don't follow us on Instagram,
There
if
you go.
You're alive. You're welcome.
There you go. See, that's you were missing important context there, Blabs.
Just some violence for no reason. Okay.
I wasn't just like, hey, make sure you threaten all the normal men tuning in.
I threaten thee.
Why not?
With a steel blade.
Yeah, so that's true. You could just threaten
Blades
them.
of glory.
Right.
But
Well, it works for the IRS. What the hell?
Dude,
Man, I got a letter from the IRS. YouTube Labs.
I got 3.
You got 3?
Yeah.
I got a letter from the IRS about taxes from 2021.
What?
You know what the difference? You know what the difference between what they said between my accountant and their recollection of the revenue was like $436. And then they wanted to charge me penalties of $1,500 to get it taken care of. And I was like, what is this nonsense?
I knew you shouldn't have established that fake children's burn center as a tax shelter. I told you, Craig.
That's right. Stuttering Craig's Center for Burn Kids who get burned real good.
Yeah.
No, I have a great story, but I'll have to tell you off the air, Craig.
I thought it was a little odd when you named it the Melty Facetorium. It was a little strange.
It was in the runnings, and just like their face. Oh,
we have taxes.
Oh, that's good stuff. But yes, it is an amazing thing. But yes, so there you go, Blabs. We are live once again over on Kick. Oh, I did say I wasn't ever going to mention that, but you can't listen to the show.
But then we upped up, so you kind of have to do it now. Now we're at 681.
Okay, find us over on Kick at kick.com/sidescrolls. Listen to the show over on Apple Podcast and Spotify, and of course, we encourage everybody to head over to sidescrollerspodcast.com and become members over there. That is the best place to support the show. We are currently sitting at 77 members, which is spectacular. Let's continue to grow our goal is 100. Let's get to that 100. And I think that'd be great. Really appreciate that. So yeah. Oh, and of course we do have our brand new Normal Man t-shirt right now available right now. You guys have been loving those shirts. Go pick it up right now in the description, all hanging out down there below. So with that said, I'm clipping already 2 minutes in, huh? That's okay. Well,
2 minutes and 40. It's pretty bad. You're still going.
Okay. I'm not sure. I'll scoot the mic back a little bit. Oh, you know what it is? Here it is. I think my mic was a little too loud, so it's creating the clipping there. So hey, right off the bat, listen to this. Valkyrie Winter came in with the $50 Rumble rant. Says, "Hail, I'm here for the boobs, the jiggling, and the lovely faces of you all. Blabs never change no matter what. Craig, you father Razor. So Razor, so enjoy when you're on. Love you all in Skull. Ooh woo. Thank you. That is wonderful.
Oh, I have a message from Arch. I'm going to play this. He doesn't actually mean it, though.
That was awful. I hate you now.
That's true. Arch always has an eloquent way with words. So good. Hey, and Boojalicious came in with the $20 super chat. Says, saw Marilyn Manson this past weekend for his comeback uncanceled tour. Never counted myself a huge fan of his, but he was a great entertainer, and I'm glad he beat the Me Too nonsense. Hail, normal men. Bezrum Metal Mythos win.
That says Buzzrum, doesn't it?
Buzzrum?
You're right. That sounds like the name of a rum brand. Burzum, I think.
Oh, my fault.
That's never gonna happen. Varg's a clown, and I'll never cover his music.
All right, there you go. Boojalicious. Sorry about that.
So is Marilyn Manson, by the way. I hate them both. Hate them like poison.
Do you guys obviously, Blabs? You ever heard the rumor about Marilyn Manson?
Which one?
Yeah,
the rib.
Oh, where he wanted to eat other people's ribs and things?
No.
And take them out of their bodies?
I'm afraid not.
No,
it was
Blabs,
an entirely different bone he wanted to eat.
Yes. So the rumor, Blabs, that it was that Marilyn Manson.
So no, hold on. Let me set the stage.
Yes, please.
So when you have a Craftmatic adjustable bed, how if you were to make like a V, right? Your legs and your head only get so close together before you kind of have to make a difficult decision.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of wanted that done surgically.
So Blabs, The rumor was that Marilyn Manson removed his bottom rib or one of his ribs or something so that he could fillet himself.
But why?
Something many a CNN anchor has pondered in the wee morning hours.
I don't know. These are great questions, Blabs, and I'm glad we can educate you on the important issues here on Side Scrollers, which is good. But apparently it wasn't true.
Yeah.
That just reminds me of those people who get like plastic makeovers and everything and remove part of their ribs so they look like a Barbie.
Uh-huh.
My question, like, who comes up with that? What demented like fan or hater just comes up with that idea? Here's how ubiquitous that rumor was. It's Christmas. I'm over at my grandpa's house. My grandma tells me about it. My grandma.
Wait, how weird is that when your grandma's like, did you know that Marilyn Manson can suck his own
right?
ear?
Like, how does that even, what in the world? It's hilarious too. Like, she's freaking out about it. My mom goes, do you even know who Marilyn Manson is? And she goes, of course I know who she is.
That's right, Marilyn. That's right. Thank you, Norm. Appreciate that.
Rest in peace, Grandma. Love you.
Oh God. It's in a total side note. I went and visited my grandparents' grave for the first time in a long time this weekend, and it was a good experience to do that. Like, I get it, right? Like that their bones and stuff are just under me, but at the same time, it's good just to kind of be there. So I don't know, just a total side note. You're talking about rest in peace, Grandma. That's right, rest in peace, Grandma and Grandpa. I'm sure you hope you're real proud of what I'm doing, talking about Marilyn Manson,
showing jiggling titties and talking about shock rockers filleting themselves. Yeah,
that's right. Welcome to Side Scrollers, everybody.
Right.
Andrew came in and says, has anyone seen Liz Wheeler's rant about men playing video games is unattractive? Yeah, we're going to be talking about that today for sure. That's going to be really, really, really great conversation. Kyle came in, says, yo, Craig, the DNC had me thinking, what if around election time you guys did a tier list for presidents who had the best video game era, starting with Nixon in 72. Personally, what's your favorite?
Why can't we just start with George Washington?
Right.
Well, there were no video games then, Blabs. That's the idea.
Razor, do you have to like what's wrong with this man, Razor?
She's setting you an improv class. This would be called setting you up. Don't you know in improv class you're never supposed to say no, Craig? You're always supposed to say yes.
Yeah, we can start with George Washington.
There you go.
Like, I don't get him. I don't understand. It's so difficult.
I don't understand humor. That's one thing. Listen, if you watch me over the course of my career, I truly don't get humor. I'm not funny. That's it.
Dude.
I wish most of the internet could admit it, right? Anyone who's ever heard a joke on the internet thinks they're a comedian. That's the problem. Honestly, that's 90% of the problem with the internet.
Yeah. And I am not a comedian. But to answer your question, Kyle, the answer is George Bush in 1992. The Super Nintendo era was the best era. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was Bill Clinton, wasn't it?
I was going to say,
well, yes and no. He was kicked out of office that year.
Yeah, the George Bush into Bill Clinton era. Is that right?
Yeah.
80? Yeah. So
wasn't there an early YouTube channel, Gaming in the Clinton Years?
There was. Yes, there was. What a fun.
And it wasn't political at all, right? Nowadays, it would be super political to name your YouTube channel that, but it was not political at all. That was the most amazing thing about it.
It was just about that time period. That's 100% right. That's funny you mentioned that. Hey, Mage Leader came in, says, speaking of melty faces, that's funny. I finally got around to seeing Darkman. It is officially my new favorite superhero movie. Guessing that Razor has seen it and Blabs probably hasn't. What about you, Craig? Have you seen Darkman, Mage? Or I'm sorry, Razor?
Of course. Yeah, it was started out as it was supposed to be a Shadow movie. And Sam Raimi couldn't get the rights to the Shadow. So he was like, well, I'll put bandages on his face and call him Darkman. And came up with some different ideas and whatever. It was kind of like his Shadow movie, but it was just unofficial. It's a good movie.
I'm going to break your brain a little bit today. So I watched a movie last night. Actually, I'm not even through with it. I'm about an hour and 15 minutes into it right now. It showed up and I was like, you know what? I've always laughed at this idea, but I'm going to watch it. I started watching Blank Man a couple days ago. Do you know that movie? The Damon Wayans movie?
Yeah, it's weird that you mentioned that. I was flipping through a magazine the other day and there was an ad for it just out of nowhere. And I was like, oh, I forgot that exists. That was like yesterday I saw that. Yeah.
Yes, Blank Man of all things showed up. And I'm tell you this right now. It is very mid-90s. Currently, it holds a score of 12% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Which usually means it's good.
It's quirky. It has Robin Givens in it. Robin Givens, is that her name? And she's like the love interest of Blank Man. Like, there's a lot in the movie that could actually be seen as like fun, right? And it's supposed to be campy. There's a scene in it where they're actually beating up bad guys, and it has the pow and stuff from like the Batman 60s movies. And I feel like it's really bad, but almost borderline kind of campy good in that sense, right? Where it's like kind of enjoyable. And it's 30 years
start
old.
off on In Living Color.
I don't know. I
watched, my family watched, I don't know, we are the whitest family ever, and somehow we watched In Living Color
monochrome.
Every single Saturday, every single one.
Dude, In Living
But
Color.
I think it started out as a skit.
That makes sense. That does make sense. Yeah. But yes, it was
for those coming in late. In Living Color was like SNL, only funny and with black people.
Right. There were black people in it. Yes. And Artie Lang. That's right. Black people and Artie Lang.
No, that was Mad TV.
That's right.
Don't get your urban. That was also better than SNL, which is not hard to do. But yes.
I forgot there was SNL, Mad TV, and In Living Color. And In Living Color, and Mad TV was like the successor almost to In Living Color, because In Living Color went off the air. Then Mad TV came several years later, or maybe like a year or two later, right?
Yeah. In Living Color's big claim to fame, of course, is basically discovering Jim Carrey.
Yes, and there's there's a lot of famous characters that he had. Fire Marshal Bill, which was a great character. He did a Vanilla Ice skit. There's a lot of really, like, you look back on that show. Every single one of those actors.
Jennifer Lopez.
She was a dancer. That's
she
right.
was a dancer on there. Jennifer Lopez was.
Mm-hmm. But every single one of those actors would be canceled today for appearing in that show, because it was all raunchy and like that's what that show was, and it was funny. It was great. Anyways, so yeah, there you go.
Remember the homeless guy who would build his house out of boogers?
No, I do not.
He was like a homeless guy who was doing a home improvement show called This Old Box. I love that show, dude.
Pretty great. Not gonna lie.
Genius. And here's the toilet, and he grabs like a pickle jar with a turd floating in it. Like, that show is genius, dude.
Labs would not be on board with that at all. So it's too low.
Why are you telling me this? What makes you think I have any interest in that at all?
Because there's a pot. It's a pickle jar. It's a toilet. Anyways, Antihero came in with the 10. Says, hey guys, I want to spread the word that German YouTuber Shalom Finkelstein was in prison for hate speech last week and might stay behind bars for a year. Protect the First and Second Amendments at all costs, or suffer the consequences like we do over here. Wow. I'm not familiar with Shalomo Finkelstein. But yeah, that is scary stuff, man. That like, you've seen this all across the board, that you can't say this stuff anymore. That's hate speech. What a bunch of idiots. Is that hate speech? Or is the UK going to show up at my door now? Because we're spreading.
Shlomo Finkelstein sounds like Anglo guy.
Anglo man. Yes. By the way, I did find gaming in the Clinton years. The irony of all this is that, I mean, it very much sounds like, let me actually pull this up. I think this will be a nice little blast for the past. This is an Earthbound review. How long do you think it would take to review Earthbound, Razor?
Nowadays, a 9-part, hour-long each docu-series, I'm sure.
Try a minute and 51 seconds.
That's all you need. That's all you need, dude.
Right. Yep. Here we go. Let's check this out.
Like Illusion of Gaia, Earthbound.
Oh wow, it's only in the right ear.
Oh, dude, that was all over YouTube. That was like that.
Yep.
Comes packed with a load of hints if you need them. Earthbound is an easy RPG, but Nintendo wanted the game to be easy, so it provide constant, uninterrupted fun. Earthbound has so many comic elements to it that Nintendo doesn't want you to give up on the game and never see those funny scenes. Earthbound is the first RPG to be set in modern times. You save your progress by calling
the
your dad
only
over the telephone.
non-cringe, non-overthinky Earthbound review on YouTube now.
Right. I would love for him to take a breath while he's doing this review. It's like every.
He don't got time for that. He ain't got no time for respiration.
That's right. See, 16 years ago on the internet was 2008. So in 2008, you're talking about, like this was a time where a minute and 51 seconds was a long video.
Yeah.
So.
And refill your energy by eating pizza. Speaking of pizza, you can play the game with your left hand and eat pizza in the other, since the game can be controlled with the L button, which lets you talk and check, otherwise known as search. And
Bro, that's totally what we did in the Clinton years when we were playing. I mean, straight up.
This guy nailed it right here. This guy's on fire. Anyways, you get the idea. It's great stuff, and there's an entire series about that. It's no longer called Gaming in the Clinton Years. It's just called GITCY, because I'm sure if you put Clinton in your title, it may be flagged.
I'm sure, yes. It'll be demonetized.
All right, speaking of video games, we do see every single one of your super chats, every single one of your Razor rants, Rumble rants, and we do see your direct donations. We're going to read every single one of them. Jake, thank you very much for that gifted membership to the channel. We all appreciate that. And I need to let you know that if you're new, make sure you hit the subscribe button, of course. We're joining the 91,000 normal men who love common sense in the video game entertainment and the pop culture world. Let's do our best to get to 1,000 likes. So we'd really appreciate it if you guys hit that. And of course, let's get to 25 memberships today. So Blaz, please fill us in today in video game history.
Okie dokies. Good luck, everybody. August 20th, we have Outcast releasing back in 1999. We have Armored Core 2, Another Age releasing back in 2007. And then we have Brain Age 2, More Training in Minutes a Day, releasing back in 2007. And I remember the Brain Age 1 and 2 commercials being everywhere once upon a time. The end.
Okay. I'm looking at anything that you missed today. The only thing that I see on the list that would really be noteworthy would potentially be in 2002, you missed Dead to Rights for the Xbox.
Yeah, but Brain Age.
But Brain Age, Brain Age is a good one to have for sure. Mm-hmm. But that's really, Blabs, that's about it. Good job. We're going through a little desert of releases right now, and that's okay. It's okay.
I think tomorrow's is pretty good. Don't look at it. If you do, I'll be mad. So don't do it. But tune back tomorrow, guys, for the 21st.
That's a tease. All right, sounds good. Oh, well, Saints Row 4 was released for the PlayStation Network, and so that's good, I guess. I don't know. I'm picking the juice right now. Blabs is nailing it. Yeah, Blabs is nailing it right now. Okay, let's get into it. We got a lot to talk about today. Thank you guys very much for your support. Mercenary came in at the 10. So speaking of Saturday Night Live, the new UI on Hunt Showdown reminds me too much of the MSN skit of all the info panels that kept getting added until the whole screen was covered up. It's that bad. That's funny. Man.
There's a story is that game is getting absolutely shelled on Steam since their big update.
Well, there's a lot of games that are not getting shelled. There's one game in particular that's not getting shelled on Steam, and we're going to talk about that today for sure. Norm came into the 10, says, hack video essayist, 9-minute reviews are media illiterate. All reviews need to be 24 hours long with bland lo-fi background music and backstory that is irrelevant to the rest of the video. Right?
Yeah, indeed. And flashy transitions between points that don't need to be made.
That's right. Gaming Newfie came in with a 10, says, hey, Razor, earlier today, the devs just dropped a teaser trailer for the upcoming DLC for Blood West. Have you seen it yet? And are you looking forward to it? Glad you're feeling better, and Godspeed.
Of course I am. Blood West, one of the best games of the last couple of years. Really, really, really cool game.
All right. Okay, let's get into this. We got a lot to talk about today. It's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for hard news.
Hard news.
Okay, we're going to start off talking about some culture stuff as over the last, I don't know, year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, we've seen this creep of DEI make its way into all sorts of companies along the way. Diversity, equity, and inclusion mostly started in the wake of the George Floyd stuff. People like, we need to respond to that. And
it's the kind of diversity where everyone's black.
Yes, that's right. That's right. There's no diversity outside of that. That's it.
Yes.
But
it's where you put 5 black Oldsmobiles side by side and say, boy, what a diversity of choices here. This is fantastic.
Right. They all run
I don't
the
know why I
exact
picked
same way.
Oldsmobile specifically, but
yeah, okay. Well, there have been some interesting companies that have really embraced the DEI initiative, and there have been some that have been very tied to like American values, right? We saw Tractor Supply not too long ago. They went really deep into it, and then they're like, whoa, they got boycott, and they realized they lost a bunch of money, and they're like, oh shit, this is not good. Another one of those companies was Harley Davidson. Like, can you think of like something more American than Harley Davidson? I don't know, Bud Light. Like
$1 trillion budget deficits. I don't know.
Yeah, right. So Harley Davidson, after some major pushback, has now since distanced themselves from all the DEI initiatives that they put out there. They came out, and after major boycotts, there was some footage of them at the big thing up in Sturgis that happens every year, where like people, like the booths were just deserted. Nobody wanted to go anywhere near it. It was almost like tainted to go to the Harley Davidson booths. But yes, Harley Davidson.
I saw. Have you seen even footage of Sturgis from the last several years? Like they're kind of like 1 part motorcycle rally, 9 parts MAGA rally. A lot of times.
No, I haven't.
They're pretty wild, yeah.
Okay. Well, they have gone in and says another one for our movement. I couldn't do this without y'all. This is from Robbie Starbuck over on X. He says Harley Davidson just issued this statement where they promised no more DEI functions, no more supplier diversity spin goals. They'll no longer participate in HRC scoring, which there you go. You see what that's there for. And sponsorship activities are changing and will focus exclusively on motorcycling, first responders, active military, and veterans. It's almost like that's exactly their brand. Just throwing it out there, right?
Well, that and being overpriced.
Yes. This did you ride? Have you ever ridden a Harley?
Yeah. I've never owned one. I don't really. I was never a big fan. They're leaky and like 10 times as expensive as metric bikes. I've just never been a big fan. But yeah.
Do they ride smoother or something than other motorcycles, or are they just
some of them? It depends on the bike that you get, but they're kind of renowned for, look, a lot of their stuff is made in America. I don't think it is anymore, but that was their big claim to fame for a long time. That's one of the reasons this was kind of a slap in the face is, it's not like you're buying a Suzuki or something. It's straight up like this is an American company. These guys went out of their way. They would have more expensive bikes just so they could say all our parts were made in America. All of our labor was done in America, blah, blah, blah. So cucking out to DEI was kind of like, talk about not reading the room and understanding your audience. Like, seriously, just go to Sturgis for 15 minutes. You'll understand.
Norm came in and says, isn't Harley Davidson kind of a boomer brand? Please correct me if I'm wrong. I would say Harley Davidson is I mean, I wouldn't say it's
painted themselves into a corner with their price, right? They got way too comfortable with selling their bikes to retirees. And so their audience and their consumer base has gotten older and fatter and bolder over the years. And that's really, so they're not cool anymore, right? Like those kind of motorcycles used to be, like, what do you think the Fonz was? It was like a representation of a whole generation of high school kids who couldn't afford a car, but they could afford a motorcycle back in the day. So the cool kids would have motorcycles instead of cars. That isn't the case anymore because motorcycles have priced themselves out of being cool, basically. So Harley Davidson had this entire litany of problems long before they opened their yap and started taking DEI cash. That's the problem, really. And I think that's probably why they cucked out to this so quick.
Well, Harley Davidson posted, the statement over on their X, and it has not been received very well. I mean, it's been received great outside of them just getting absolutely ratioed by people being like, who at your company thought this would be a good idea, right? Like that's really kind of the general response. I can't believe, you thought this was a good idea. Get the fuck out of here, and this is, the same guy talking about everything. Like we're talking Tractor Supply, John Deere, Harley Davidson. Like, what are we doing? Labs, you're close to these companies. You've worked on farms before. You're familiar. Like, at any point, does this whole DEI initiative belong to these brands at all?
Hold on. There's Blab's farm lore. What is this?
Oh, yeah, I have a background in agriculture.
Background in agriculture?
I went to college for it and everything. I've worked on ranches from sheep to chickens to cattle.
I'm gonna call you cotton picking Blabs from now on.
Oh no!
I've never done that though. I've worked on strawberry fields too. Fun fact. But no, not at all. There's no room for this whatsoever. And the fact that they have that, you can see their decline because a lot of these factories are actually closing. I believe it was a couple of months ago that John Deere, I think it was, said they were closing another factory in the US. It's like, good job, guys. You just lost all your employees to become cheaper somewhere else. I think they're going to Mexico, some shit like that.
Yep.
It's very depressing because lost some jobs.
Oh, that's where most of the farm laborers come from these days. Okay.
No, not even Mexico. It's more like Guatemala.
Right.
Well, I guess this goes back to, and this is going to be a theme throughout the show. Common sense is winning. Common sense is very much winning right now, and you see this. The tide has started to turn. We're going to talk about this in the gaming space. We're talking about this, obviously with Harley Davidson. The blowback is real against these companies who are going deep into this. You see this even with Disney, like the pushback. People talking about how their most profitable aspect of their business, their parks, are seeing a fraction of the people that they're used to seeing. They had sales over the summer. Disney had sales over the summer. That never, ever, ever happens. They had incentives for people to go. So we're seeing this pushback, and that's like legit exciting. You wonder if this is if things are starting to change a little bit, if the mood is changing a little bit along the way. And I think some people will only dig in more, just to kind of be a little more resentful along it. But Harley Davidson is not a company that should be digging in more ever.
Yeah, this is why it's important. It's incumbent upon consumers to kind of pick their battles a little bit. Companies like Harley, who can't afford to lose customers, are a great opportunity to push back on this kind of stuff, right? Because they have very little wiggle room. If they lose, they have been bleeding revenue for a number of years, and their old consumer base is aging out and dying, right? So they need to find new consumers, or else. That's probably what motivated a lot of this. Probably you get one or two woke employees over at Harley Davidson, and they start preaching that we're going to find our new audience mess, right? How many companies have fallen prey to this fiction? And so if you pick this as kind of your not hill to die on, but hill to win on, you ultimately can push back on this, and you can actually reverse a lot of these policies. It's important to sort of pick your targets a little bit.
Well, Harley Davidson definitely had the crosshairs on them, and they have definitely pulled back after feeling the crosshairs on them, which good for them, and good for those who apply the pressure. I think that's a great thing along the way.
My 2 cents is that I watched this documentary. It was from 2016. It was like the rise of Harley Davidson, and it was a really good like TV drama type of thing. So it's kind of sad to see that they went into this category of like bullshit DEI shit. It's like, guys, look how you started, so badass, so much bravery and balls and gumption, and then like down the drain. Anyway. Yeah.
Well, you see that, but that it takes to grow a brand like Harley or Disney or Tractor Supply or any of these companies. It takes balls. It takes risks. Like, you do not succeed in business without taking risks and
Mhm.
believing in yourself. You simply don't. And, you know, so yeah, the origin story for a lot of these companies, and you see this a lot, where the origin story is filled with bravery and taking risks and going above and beyond and thinking outside the box. And then what happens oftentimes is the company A will get either comfortable, and when you start a company, you should never be comfortable, right? But they get comfortable and they rest on their laurels, or somebody dies and leadership changes and they don't even know the company they're working at, right?
Or in the case of, you know, companies like this, they get regulated into oblivion too. It's another thing.
There's truth. Yes, truth in that.
You have a lot of pioneers early on in these kind of industries who aren't encumbered by a bunch of regulations because it's a new emerging industry. You saw that with, you know, people who built cruise lines, people who built airplanes and, you know, domestic air travel and stuff like that, not regulated at all. As the decades go on, more and more regulated, more and more lobbying has to happen. It gets more and more corporate. God, look at what's happening to Boeing. Look what look.
Careful. You will get killed.
In Minecraft.
In Battle World.
That's right. Hey, Dave came in and says, sadly, these mega corporations that ought to scream America have a habit of marketing to the patriotic crowd while stuffing the offices with DEI hires. Thanks, Dave, for sure. He also says, Indian tried to move into the Harley market with limited success, branding themselves as the original iconic American motorcycle company. Yeah. The Indian motorcycle, like,
I'm surprised they're still called Indian.
Right. It's like
they'd have to be like the I don't know, motorcycle baseball club or whatever. The Guardian. There we go.
Oh my gosh. Mercenary says, also, does seeing Cooper live make me metal? I don't know, Mercenary. Does seeing Alice Cooper live make Mercenary metal?
What?
If he sees Alice Cooper live, does it make him super metal?
I mean, no, it means he went and saw an awesome show. The hell?
Yeah. Boojalicious says, what's the difference between a Hoover and a Harley? The position of the dirt bag. Oh, but nice. Matthew came in and says, who knew the Model T was so diverse? There you go.
It's the Model Low T.
Superfly came in and says, I had a question, but YouTube is blocking everything I'm saying. If you guys want to, if you don't want to get blocked, use the Streamlabs link down below. We see more of your money that way anyways, and there's no restrictions associated with what you can say. So like, this should probably be blocked, but Master Gawa says she worked in Strawberry Fields. I didn't realize Blabs was Harley riders are just guys that couldn't bring themselves to go full leather.
Slave these nuts, Master Gawa.
Thanks, Master Gawa. Appreciate that. All right. So there we go. Good on them for making the move and retracting themselves. Now here's another thing that could potentially see a retraction. As look, we saw The Office here in the United States. It had Steve Carell in it, but that was a remake of The Office that was in the UK, right? Mm-hmm. Well, now The Office is getting scaled one more time, and it is being scaled over to Australia. Razor, did you see the Office the first time around?
The original English one, no.
Did you see the American version?
An episode here or there.
Right. Blabs,
hey, how many scenes can we end with someone awkwardly looking at the camera? Like, did I just see that? Like, every scene. There you go. Fantastic.
That's right.
Add a little shaky cam and a slight zoom for a second. Yeah, there you go.
What's that, Blabs?
I actually kind of discovered that there's been more than just, US and UK. There's also been Germany. That's fun.
It's, and that's the thing you see with all these shows. Can you scale it to other languages, right? Wheel of Fortune is in like every country known to man. There's not just America's Got Talent. There's Britain's Got Talent. There's Africa's Got Talent. There's China's got whatever, Everybody's got talent. But we'll see if there's talent with the Australian reboot of The Office. Apparently, this is the lead character, a female boss lady.
Was she running a COVID camp?
That's right. They're overseeing everybody. The COVID insanity. This will be on Prime Video coming in October. I'm just going to throw it out. If this is developed by an Australian production company, I have a feeling the humor won't hit like the American audience, like the American one did.
It might just hit. Depends on what they do with it.
Let that Hannah Gatsby write it. It'll be fantastic.
I feel like we need to ask all the Australians to go and review it and be like, is this a good show? Let us know.
They can have an episode about Dad's Google history. There we go.
Yeah. Well, we have you do have strong female lead, right? And you wonder if she's going to be like silly and goofy like Michael Scott was in the American version, right? Like, because the thing about Michael Scott as a character was that he tried his best. He loved his team, but he was an idiot, right? And he's like the lovable oaf. Will they possibly do that to a strong female lead? Do they have the courage to make her a lovable oaf?
They might. They're not as like insane in Hollywood and over in Australia, so they might just actually make it like a decent show. I kind of doubt it because it's Amazon. It's Amazon Prime, so I'm like, but you never know.
Will they start each episode with a recognition of the indigenous land that they recorded the episode on?
Will they begin every episode with an Australian Olympic breakdance?
Oh my God, yeah. Somebody was saying how like the ray gun chick was actually PR for this. I think it was Epic Mike.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's like, this chick was the PR for this show.
It's funny you mentioned that because if you scroll down, literally the second comment is
yes,
just show up.
So there you go. Jake says,
sorry. Anyway,
Jake says, as an Aussie, I can confirm that chick ain't funny. Thanks, Jake. Sorry to hear about that. That's rough. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Hey, we got a trailer. Okay, Rachel Zegler is the new Snow White coming up from Disney, right? And the response to that has not been spectacular, right, by any means. But it's not the only movie that Rachel Zegler is in, as a new trailer for a movie called Y2K was just released earlier today.
Wow, just in the nick of time, huh?
Now, Blabs, you weren't around for Y2K. I mean, you were, but you were itty bitty. Do you remember what was going on? Like
Wasn't that what everyone freaking out from 1999 that changed in the technology and the computers to 2000, the year and everything, and everyone going, oh, the world will end. Something like that.
Yeah. So the general thought was that somewhere along the coding in computers that for some reason, switching from the year 99 to 00, somewhere along the lines, it would cause all technology to just collapse, right? And that was the thing. It's like the world's gonna end.
Yeah, they did that with 2012 again, didn't they? So
they did.
Still here.
They're still doing it.
This is a movie that is being released, and how about we just take a look and see what we think of this movie, okay? Because I watched this trailer. I'm not even going to tell you what I feel about
What the hell's going on in this?
Well, let's just watch it. But this is the new Rachel Zegler film called Y2K.
Wild chicken.
Fire.
Any lucky lady gonna get the midnight kiss?
Just talk to her, dude.
What's up, Laura? We're actually going to this New Year's thing. It's gonna be a total shit show.
Oh.
See ya.
It's 1999.
I like how we're so freaking stuck in the late 90s. Everyone's just wearing the same clothing as 2024. Like it's just, there's no difference at all.
They brought it back. But did you notice the actress who played Clueless is the mom?
The actor who played Clueless? Is that?
Yeah.
Is that oh, that
Her
is,
on the left. It is.
That's Alicia Silverstone? That's Batgirl?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Alicia Silverstone is the mom in this movie.
Who's hit the wall harder than Princess Di? All right.
And that on the right looks like Discount Kevin from Home Alone.
Discount Macaulay Culkin over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a Raymond Chandler line that springs to mind. She had a face like a bucket of mud.
Like a bucket of mud.
It's because Alicia Silverstone went all vegan, and then I think she was saying how she wouldn't wear a bra, so it's like, you have saggy tits too then, huh? Okay.
All right.
Look at
Thanks for that, Blab.
Wear a bra, ladies.
Let's continue, Blabs. Yeah, wear your bra, ladies.
I think he's more effeminate than she is, actually.
He is pretty feminine. He looks like Will from Stranger Things, but like a different version of Will. Does that make sense?
And is everyone in this movie just not tweezing their eyebrows out of principle? Is this a thing?
There's a thing in the 90s.
They look like the freaking Angry Birds.
Nah, I mean, in the 90s and early 2000s, that's all they did was tweeze. Remember, most girls nowadays don't have eyebrows because they're not left.
This can't be a Y2K movie. He doesn't have frosted tips on his hair.
Yeah.
Well, right. We'll see how many references there were to late 90s stuff as we go along.
Hey, guys, remember Thing? Remember Thing that our writer wasn't actually alive for?
It's 1999, and we getting drunk. In a few hours, you have an
Side ponytails? Isn't that an 80s thing? What are you? We're
Side
mixing
ponytails?
decades.
No, I think the 90s had that too. Then again, I was only 4, so what do I know?
Again, I have to insist everyone just looks like they look now. The fashion is exactly the same.
There is a lot of truth in that, for sure.
You have an excuse to kiss the girl of your dreams. Open up. Take us away. It's so smooth.
Oh my god.
Uh-oh.
This totally happened.
Big bad
guys.
monsters coming to get them all. The
Yep.
Y2K monster.
So the premise of this, as you can see, is what if Y2K actually happened?
Oh my god. What if this movie didn't happen?
Y2K is real.
What? How does that work?
It's a gremlin.
Dumbass. I use gel.
Oh shit.
This is a horror movie.
Horror movie?
It's a horror movie.
It was a horror movie before now, let's be real.
It's a comedy horror. It's a
Jesus.
comedy horror. Oh, did you see it had Varsity Blues on it? That's hilarious.
Wow. Remember VHS tapes, kids?
Remember all
Remember
this stuff?
VHS in the age of DVD? Like what? You have any
Oh my
idea how much more popular DVD was at this time than VHS? What?
Yeah, it's true. Good point. In the
What
late.
the hell? This movie was written by someone who was not alive at the time.
Well, we're gonna find out who it was written by, and I think you're gonna be shocked by who wrote this film. We'll see.
I don't think I will.
Oh, you don't think you will? So like,
What
she's
the hell
getting-
just happened to her?
I
She's getting-
don't know.
She's getting drilled through the head by looks like a skate on a saw blade and a. Anyways,
Oh. Imagine how wide a camera lens you need to capture.
It's an eyeball.
no,
It
Blabs,
reminds me of it's like Puppet
Oh,
Master.
that's her eyeball.
No, Blabs, that's a webcam from the 90s.
Oh.
That's a web.
It went from drilling into her head, and then it was there again. I'm like, oh my god, it drilled her eye.
That's a 90s webcam, Blabs. Jesus. Oh, let's just watch about another 10 seconds of this.
A
No,
Tamagotchi
I want
just
to
drilled
see
through
all of this now.
Did you say Tamagotchi? The Tamagotchi.
Yes.
Oh my
Oh my god, the Tamagotchi will rule them all.
Yeah.
a Tamagotchi
Getting
just
how
drilled through a
gone,
chick's-
dude? Tamagotchis lasted like 3 months.
Bitch, I have a Tamagotchi.
They lasted like 3 months in 1997. They were
What do you
no one
mean?
had a
I have, like,
Tamagotchi by the
5
year
of them.
2000
Blabs has one right now.
I literally have one. Not
because they
on me,
came
right
back.
Here.
What am
I
'cause
have
they-
one. It's red, and it's a Fantastic Beast Harry Potter one.
Oh, Blabs.
Head. Come on, we gotta go.
There it is.
Oh
No.
God! Who knew all the talent was stored in his fat?
It just sucked right out.
Jeez.
I'm invested. I want to see the end of this trailer.
Okay. All right.
It's kind of like Peter Jackson when he made the Hobbit movies, you know, like he stopped being able to make sequels when his chin stopped having them.
Chat, what do you think of this so far? The premise of this?
Are you not entertained?
We are experiencing major problems. as a result
Oh,
of the
shit.
Y2K breakdown.
Our human race.
We're talking global computer apocalypse.
Sorry, guys. I guess you're fucked.
They made a video and everything. That's crazy.
Do you know who Kyle Mooney is? Any idea who
No.
that is?
Does he
That's-
moon people?
No, this guy right here.
Oh.
That's his deal. He plays like a really good stoner. That's his kind of he's wild and crazy. He's from Saturday Night Live. He's pretty funny. He has original ideas.
You don't know how this shit works.
Grab a bike, grab a board, grab whatever you can.
Oh my god.
This has been the shittiest night of my life.
Fuck this!
But it's cool that we got to hang out for once.
It's cool the cameraman was able to fit both of Rachel Zegler's eyes in the frame.
extra wide camera.
Jesus, friggin' IMAX.
It's
That's
with
right.
the
Literally.
fisheye lens.
Yes.
Chumbawamba. It was a big film, big one back in the day. 90, 98, 99. Yeah.
Hey kids, remember the same top 40 hits that are played on the radio hourly even today?
Yep. Yeah, man. It's good.
What do
Well, there you
mean?
go.
I want to watch it now, Craig. Play it.
All right, fine. Here
That's
you go.
right. We get a freeze frame of Rachel's teeth.
I get knocked out. Could I get up again?
So there you go.
This
Blabs,
is
Jonah
totally gonna
Hill's
save-
career was a mistake.
Blabs, you sound like you're in on this.
Oh no, absolutely not. I will not
No.
be watching this. No. I'm just
Really?
trying to say I think that this will definitely not save Rachel Zegler's career. I think this movie's gonna flop.
Wow. Okay. I don't
This is
know. Well, I
a
mean, yeah.
stupid premise. with-
You know, it kind of reminds me. It's like they're trying to make a millennial version of like Stranger Things, right? Kind of.
Mhm.
You know, I when you look at the timing of this, I actually think the timing of this makes sense, right? When you look at movies built around nostalgic periods, usually nostalgic movies take place. They're produced about things that are happened like 2 decades prior, right? And there hasn't really been a movie yet about the early 2000s, late 90s. Maybe I'm wrong. There have been series, but the 80s have been covered pretty extensively. I think of like Stranger Things and things like that. But I don't know. I don't think this will work, right? Thank you, Benjamin. I don't think this is going to be a massive success, but I will say this.
The Y2K is
I grew up with
getting
movies like
cracked.
American Pie.
Yeah, I think your voice
Yeah.
got hit by the Y2K bug.
Yeah, man.
Oh, did it? Did it? Okay.
Are you
Well,
the Y2? Is the Y2K in the room with us right now, Craig?
as always. I'll say this. I grew up with films like American Pie, right? And kind of raunchy films like that, right? You know, comedies that were not afraid to offend. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the case with this movie, but if there is a lot of like gruesome, you know, death and stuff, I could see myself sitting down and seeing if this was good. Will I make it through? I don't know. But the late 90s, to me, there was nostalgia. And you know what? I am part of the problem, Razor, because I do go, VHS tapes. That's great.
I think this the premise probably would have worked, but I think the execution is a flop. Like they could have done some type of horror with this Y2K, but I think they needed to have a different actress, a different whole group, and then different script.
No, if you were gonna do parody with this, if you were gonna make a Y2K parody of it,
Oh, kind of like the Scream.
I would make
parody
a
one?
movie like I would make like a Jason Bourne movie, play it dead straight, and just Mr. President, the Y2K bug has affected all flights on the North American Sea, and just play it dead straight to the camera. It'd be like Airplane or The Naked Gun, right? Like just dead on, and make it like a movie from that era, but about Y2K. That movie would be entertaining. This is made by Jonah Hill.
Said no.
I rest my case.
Absolutely not. All right.
Deadman says Jenna Ortega was in the running to play the lead instead of Rachel Zegler. I think if they had
Oh.
gone with Jenna, it probably would have been a lot better. Just saying.
Interesting. Mage says Y2K stole its premise from Maximum Overdrive. Thanks, Mage Leader. Appreciate that. And Norm came in and says 2000s nostalgia is cringe. Can we go back to the 80s? Thanks, Norm. Appreciate that. And he followed up, says, I swear that we're in a time stuck in a time loop since 2007. And then Commodore fan came in and says Y2K is a late night 6 beers in movie on Tubi. Is that late? Y2K is a late night 6 beers in Tubi. All right, Commodore. Thanks. Appreciate that. Nice. All right. Awesome stuff. So Stinking Nader says, so they just copied Maximum Overdrive. I'll take the OG over the current day version. OG version had kids being killed by soda machines. Let's go. Torgo says, man versus machine, go machines, go. And Norm says, Family Guy did the Y2K thing better. Yes. Also, Matthew came in and says,
didn't King of the Hill do a really good Y2K episode too?
I don't know. I started watching King of the Hill not too long ago. I think I got through the first 2 seasons. That's a really good show. King of the Hill was really fun. Really fun. Matthew came in and says Parks and Rec was supposed to be The Office with a female lead. When they found out that a female version of Michael Scott just came off pathetic and sad, so they morphed the character. All right, nice. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate that. And Alan says, can I get Razor to do this like Norm? Go ahead.
I heard Hillary was at the DNC last night. Apparently, she killed. Add that to her body count.
There you go, Alan. Appreciate you. Andrew came in and says the late 90s, early 2000s were both awesome and cringe. That's right. And Wolfen says, reminds me of Maximum Overdrive a bit. Yes. All right. Awesome. Once again, we do see all your super chats, all your direct donations. We'll read every single one of them before the end of the show. Thank you guys very much. Let's keep moving on, though. Razor, preface this before we go into the story. Do you remember the Backyard Sports series back in the late 90s, the PC version? No, you do not. Okay, then this story may be a little bit, we won't have a whole lot of nostalgia for this one, but the Backyard Sports series was a very, very, very loved series by those who played it. And there was a whole Backyard Sports League where they had baseball and all these different sports.
Yeah, I've seen these around. I just never played them.
Yeah. This is, you see it, and it had a very unique style for its time. It was pretty ahead of the curve. It looked really, really good graphically and stuff. Lovable characters. There's a kid in a wheelchair pitching, right? Like, this was diversity, at the time. And you know what? We didn't even think about it. It was just a thing. But it had a number of different soccer and baseball, basketball. It was an entire backyard thing. It had a good 8-year run. Well, today they announced that the Backyard Sports franchise is being relaunched with video games, movies, films, and TV projects and more in the works. Would you like to see it?
Yeah. Although I thought they were still making them. There was one not that long ago. It's on like Steam. Am I crazy?
I don't believe so.
It's like a 3D one.
I don't know.
Did I hallucinate this? Did I fall down? Where am I?
Quite possibly. Let's check out the debut trailer here.
All right. Oh my. I think the one white kid is the token here, actually. What the fuck?
Man, there's some like monster diversity there. Look at that.
No kidding. It's like a McDonald's commercial.
And on top, and on top of that, you got the poor hit kid here, which is great.
Right.
It's good to see the poor hit kid come back. I like that. Yeah. I like the idea of that.
But up. Anyway,
I'm loving it. So there you go. I mean, it's obvious we are not the target demo for this, obviously, but I think it's cool. You know, it's neat to see a revitalization of an old franchise, and more importantly, it seems like it's a revitalization of an old franchise that holds true to the original look and feel of it. Right? When you look at how the old school version looked, like they did a good job with the graphics at the time for what they could do, but this seems like an updated version. You know, when you look at 2024 versus 1997, this seems like a natural progression. I'm just saying, it seems like exactly what you'd want in comparison. So, you know, for those who played it, chat, did anybody play Backyard Sports back in the day? Just curious. And let me know if you're excited. Not for you, and if you're excited for it, okay, that's fine. But like for your kids or your nieces or your nephews or whatever. Just curious about that. All right, let's go ahead and move on. We are rolling through the day. Hey, real quick, GamesCon is starting today. The opening night is starting here actually just momentarily. I'm sure there'll be all sorts of wonderful things announced, including Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Are you excited about that Indiana Jones game at all?
No.
Anyone?
The title's as stupid as ever. The Great Circle.
Yes.
That alone is like, couldn't be more original.
Well, we'll get some information about that here in a little bit.
It beats the last movie, Indiana Jones and the Hip of Titanium, or whatever the hell. Who's the guy who they hired to do the bad Harrison Ford impersonation?
Oh, yeah.
I don't recall. I made it like 20 minutes into the movie. I haven't watched it since.
No. The new game, right? The trailer we saw, it didn't have Harrison Ford as the voice. It was
isn't
somebody
his
that they
name
hired.
Matthew or something like that?
Isn't it Nathan Fillion? Isn't it the same guy who does all this stuff? I thought I thought it was Nathan Fillion who played
Troy Baker and or Nolan North, I'm sure.
Yes.
Bro, did you see the clip I posted of Nolan North on freaking America's Funniest People in the early 90s?
No.
Freaking Uncle Joey from Full House and Harley Quinn introduced a very young Nolan North, and he was doing like impressions on America's Funniest People. It was just wild. It was the most 90s thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, as a matter of fact, I would like to see that. Let me. I did see that, and it's funny that you pulled that up. Here we go. I got it here. Let's check this out. Okay, this is from
This
Razor.
is Nolan North
Can...
before he became the voice of every single video game protagonist ever.
All right, Uncle Joey and Harley Quinn introducing every video game peak 90s rabbit hole. All right, here we go. Let's check this out.
Excuses for forgetting your homework.
Oh, you got to be kidding, Arlene. I was never so careless as to enroll in a class that required homework in the first place.
Subtle 90s humor.
The canned laughter is great.
Right?
Canned laughter.
Dude, that is a fierce mullet, though. That is a fierce mullet.
By the way, the mullet, it's making a strong comeback with the youth.
It's making a comeback, but they're not cutting it right. It doesn't look like this. It doesn't look like a real mullet. It's like a millennial mullet.
Yeah, it really does look like white trash nowadays.
It's not. It's more Joe Dirt than this.
The double M, the millennium mullet. All right, let's check out Joe. Let's see Uncle Joey introduce Troy Baker.
Well, Nolan North of Chapel
And that's
Hill,
Harley Quinn.
Oh, Nolan North. Here we go.
May she rest in peace.
Carolina makes up for his study habits with enough excuses for a showbiz scholarship.
This guy definitely graduates Phi Beta Funny.
Oh, Nolan North, and these are some celebrity impressions of older men.
Freaking Nolan North, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. This is that's
you
him,
can
all
hear it
right.
in the voice. It's like, what?
Yep.
Who are all these people behind him? Who would he just bring these people off the street?
Right. Like, hey, we're gonna film we have a camera. Like in this time, you bust out a camera, and people are like, "Whoa, that's a video camera! Oh my gosh, let's crowd around it." You know?
Dude,
Whoa.
people don't even understand, right? Nowadays, you got like a movie camera on your phone, which if you had gone back in time and told everyone like, hey, in the future, you're going to like film entire movies on your telephone
Yes.
Right? If you told somebody in 1983 that, they'd be like, "What? Pardon?"
Right on your
Like
telephone.
you've been drinking turpentine? What is this?
Right.
Anyway.
Let's see his impressions here. Let's pay attention to a few things here. Not only his impressions, but the canned laughter associated with it, and the response of the background. Specifically, this guy. This guy looks like he's going to be hard to win over. But I think he's going to win him over. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
College. Mr. Brando, do you have your homework?
He's gonna do Brando.
What is this homework stuff? This makes no sense. To be able to do this is the horror that makes me do homework. I'm all this. Anybody got a juicy fruits or something? Did you do your homework? I didn't do my homework.
The guy in the glasses in the back, like, all right, that kind of sucks. Look at him.
This guy's great. His face right here. I feel like this could be a new emote on the channel for just I'm sad.
Like the Russian judge at the Olympics.
Just sad face.
Actually, I didn't know that it was due today.
Oh my God, Johnny Carson.
He does he does Johnny Carson and Casey Kasem in this, doesn't he?
And
right?
bro, this is like right as Johnny Carson was leaving the air. Like this is already dated, but anyway.
Yeah.
It would be here. Ed is not around, but if it was here, I would have it. I'm sorry. Did you do your homework? Me? Did I do my homework? Was it due today? This was due today? Was it due today? Are you telling me it was due today? I didn't do any homework.
This guy, he won him over in the background.
He won him over. He won him over. Ginger girl in the background is not quite as enthralled.
No, but this guy is loving it back here. I'll tell you. If you could do one thing today that makes one person look and feel like this, you've won the day.
Right?
Like that
Am I great? That's like a young Bill Gates there, I think.
Oh my gosh. Is this no, I'm going to hold off on that because YouTube will censor me.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
It's before the adrenochrome and hookers.
Yeah.
Was it due today? Hey, Casey, did you know it was due today? Well, actually, I knew it was due today, but I didn't do it. Instead, I prepared a long-distance dedication.
I don't know who that last impression was.
This last one here?
Yeah.
This is Casey Kasem. Do you remember Casey Kasem? No. He was the radio DJ back in the day. He appeared on Saved by the Bell. He did American Top 40 back in the day. They actually still replay the American Top 40 from the 80s on the weekends. So they replay his broadcast from the 80s from like 1984 in its entirety. It's crazy. I heard that one. I was like, wow, that's nuts.
Since you people don't have time for it, I'm just going to say, keep your feet on the ground and keep watching America's Funniest People.
He got
Oh my God.
He got a minute on TV. Like,
right?
That's crazy.
That's
like,
basically his audition tape to have a career, if you think about it.
Yeah, that's massive. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty good stuff. Defender says, didn't Nolan North voice the Penguin in the Arkham series? Also did Deadpool. He's done everything, man.
He's Uncharted guy. He's absolutely everything.
Yes, absolutely. Miku K says backyard became trash after backyard baseball in 2001. Okay, noted. Thank you very much. And Ankle Breaker. It says Dirty Dom Mysterio had a killer mullet and stash. That's true. It's pretty good stuff right there. And Master Gawa came into the 10, says, thank you for mentioning Dead to Rights. Every game needs disarm kills like Dead to Rights and Matrix Path of Neo have. Other obscure games that would be fun for such was to review are Robo Alchemic, Drive, and Linda 3. All right, Master Gawa. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right, let's talk about the hot news today in the world of video games, and that is Black Myth Wukong. Now, look, this started not too long ago.
What is that, like a myth that goes out for cigarettes and doesn't come back?
Oh, no, it's coming for your wallet,
right?
Razor. It's coming for your wallet today. Okay, so let's give everybody a little backstory here. So back in November, IGN wrote an article about Black Myth Wukong's developer. The developer is a company called Game Science. This is a Chinese company that was, they've developed a couple iPhone games along the way, but this is their first big game that's coming out, right? And this article It talked about how sexist and misogynistic this company was, and it has a history of sexism and complicating its journey to the West, right? And this article has since been debunked several times, most notably by a YouTuber who came out and said, like, look, the person who translated all these things that were supposedly misogynistic and sexist wasn't done by somebody who speaks Chinese natively. If they did speak this Chinese natively, they would have known that that is not the proper translation along the way. Was it rude? Sure. Was it crude? Sure. Was it sexist? No. Was it misogynistic? No. And it really this was the narrative behind the developer, Game Science, pretty much for the last 6-7 months, is that this is a company that is sexist, misogynistic, whatever. And you've seen this ran with over and over again on Kotaku, Polygon, any media outlet, and they always credit this article, the IGN article, as the history of sexist and misogynistic behavior, right? But it's all been fabricated. Okay, it's just a giant lie.
Well, certainly been fabricated.
Well, there have been some early reviews of Black Myth Wukong as well, and it is scored very well by those who have scored the game, with the lone exception primarily being Screen Rant. Now, Razor, did you see this last week when the Screen Rant review came out?
No.
Okay.
Screen Rant's track record, though, for Christ's sake, come on.
Well,
a long and storied history of crippling retardation.
Well, one of the reasons why they gave it a 3 out of 5 was its lack of diversity and inclusion. And we're talking about a game that's built around essentially monkey men fighting other mythical creatures, and there's not enough diversity and inclusion in this game. So they gave it a 3 out of 5, and that's pretty much the lowest score. It drove down like the average score across the board, right? So there's been that. And then there was some other talk about like when they sent out the codes to play back Black Myth Wukong, the company itself, the PR company, said like, hey, we pretty much just want you to talk about our game, right? We don't want you to talk about anything Chinese related. If you're going to talk about you don't need to mention politics. You don't need to mention feminist propaganda. We just want you to talk about our game. They said, don't mention COVID. Don't mention
bad. Let's be real.
Your damn studio's owned by communist China. How the hell are you going to demand that? Man, I know people are defending this developer, but you know what? You people can blow me. There is more AstroTurf around this story than a 70s baseball stadium. Stop simping for this fucking communist Chinese company and their shitty game about a stupid fucking monkey. Stop this shit. Do you people not realize that these game companies have caught on to the fact that you will jump to their reflexive defense and do viral marketing for their shit games? They caught on to this a long fucking time ago. Stop playing into their hands. Jesus Christ. Fuck. Am I the only person who said, I said this a long time ago when Cyberpunk 2077 did this? Witcher 3 did this shit. And was CD Projekt anti-woke? Were they, like, seriously, were they based? No, they wound up simping for all this crap too when the ESG money came, the ESG truck basically parked the fucking money up to their house. That's what I'm seeing here. This is AstroTurfed on their part. And the fact that like Screen Rant and all the usual suspects who usually signal boost this stuff and wind up making these games successful basically by getting a bunch of people to give it free publicity are involved in this, to me, that just ratifies this this entire idea. I don't know. You guys, if you enjoyed the game, that's great, but it's a stupid fucking Chinese monkey game. Who gives a shit? Anyway.
I just want to put my 2 cents in. Like, I understand you shouldn't talk politics in gaming. That should just be like the general gist of it. Like, why do you have to bring real world stuff into a video game? But the fact that they're going out and saying, hey, if you play this game, you cannot do this.
For the record, guys, I didn't say the game was bad. It's a game it's like a Chinese monkey game. Like, this game would have a very, very limited appeal if there had not been a huge controversy, a big incumbent controversy around it. You clearly can see, and if I sat here and thought about it, I could think of a number of examples. Cyberpunk is one I can immediately think of, Witcher's another one. I think there was one around Elden Ring too, wasn't there? Like a slight controversy about lack of wokeness or diversity or something. There's been a number of games the last several years where, you know, it's, oh, that's a problem. That's a problem. And the media kind of jumps on it, but not hard, but it's like just enough to sort of get that reflex action happening from consumers. You're like, oh, what are you talking about? We don't want that kind of diversity in the games. And then actually, Hogwarts, right? Hogwarts Legacy. There was trans stuff in that. There were pronoun people in that. It wasn't an anti-woke game at all. But it was like, you got this reflexive defensive action from gamers and from consumers. And it wound up basically signal boosting the game. A Harry Potter game. I mean, granted, Harry Potter, very, very successful, but I don't think that game is as successful as it wound up being if that doesn't happen. It was like reverse, it was negative viral marketing. That's
that was my whole thing. Because of the boycott, which is why I pointed this out actually this morning, right here. Let me blow this up for you guys, saying, bit odd seeing everyone praise Black Myth for defeating DEI, whilst the last year they're doing a boycott on Hogwarts Legacy. And the thing is, no one's actually talking about the gameplay. I want to know, is the gameplay actually good? Because everyone's just going, oh, the game, it beats DEI, blah, blah, blah. No, you guys are just doing Hogwarts Legacy, but in reverse this time. Instead of the boycott saying, I'll show them. It's like, how's the game?
I think there's multiple layers to this, right? And you're right. There is, yes. How does the game play, right? Is the game fun? And by most accounts, it's exceptionally good, right?
Yeah, I'm sure it is good. I'm sure the gameplay is good. But man, if you sat down with none of this controversy and you just said, all right, dude, it's about like ancient Chinese monkey history, I'm thinking pretty limited appeal. Right? I'm not thinking you could look at a screenshot of this and go, yeah, I want to play that as bad as I want to play Elder Scrolls or whatever popular game, Fallout, whatever the heck.
I kind of feel like this is a niche game, because I was talking to some of the guys this morning and I was like, so why did you buy this game? How do you think of this game? And they're like, we bought it because we want to experience the Chinese mythology and things like that, specifically for like where the setting is of the game and things like that. And that's fine. Like, if you want to play the game, obviously go play the game, but everyone's screaming about how amazing it is. It's like, did you even play it though? Like, why are you like amplifying this without even actually playing it for yourself? That's kind of silly.
So getting back to kind of what we were talking about though, is there was this this article from IGN, right? And they went out there, and you saw, I mentioned how this narrative was repeated over and over and over again, and it all referenced this, the idea of sexism.
One of the
and you know what
reasons it feels astroturfed a little bit is they're kind of hitting on the same point.
Right. Now, I don't think that you're wrong, Razor, and I don't think you're wrong either, Blabs. I think that there is definitely a response, whether it's IGN doing the best marketing for Black Myth Wukong by saying, hey, this is sexist, this is misogynistic, and people going like, hey, you know what? Fuck them. Fuck IGN. I'm gonna buy it. And it's
such a weird hill to die on too, because it's like, do you think you're defeating DEI by simping for a Chinese game, China being the primary funder of DEI in America?
Well, what's okay, and there's a level to that as well, right? Here's that other layer. The idea that you're willing to side with a communist company over siding with communist game journalists, right? So, would you rather side with the communist blue-haired, nose ring mafia, as Smash put it, or would you rather side with an actual communist company from China?
Who is funding the DEI, ESG, and Bridge? Like they're behind a bunch of that funding. They're behind funding for BlackRock. They're behind funding for all this stuff, all these DEI initiatives. Like, take that. It's Pequods and Queequegs from Deus Ex Invisible War, where the two rival coffee companies are they're warring against each other, and it turns out they're both owned by the Illuminati in that game. Like, that's what I'm witnessing here.
Well, the response to this has been overwhelming, as people have come in and bought this game by the millions, and it didn't set a record for most players playing a game at once, but it did set a record for most for a single player.
Yeah.
As it had 2.2 million people playing it in the last 24 hours, which if you look at the top records over on Steam, puts it between Pal World and PUBG when it first launched. So, and obviously you saw that game Banana earlier this year. But it beats out, like, we're talking about like all-time great games. PUBG, Pal World, which had its peak and then it kind of flashed out. As the Pal World, I think people are gonna look back on that as kind of a flash in the pan,
Yeah.
But Counter-Strike 2.
I had no idea Baldur's Gate 3 beat out Cyberpunk for concurrent players.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But this game in particular, I mean, it's a very big deal, and there's a strong response to what has been happening. And as pointed out by David, says the hype for Wukong comes from way before the SBI detected and other pushes against DEI. People loved how the game looked, and the Souls genre is very popular. I truly believe it would have been successful anyway. Thanks, David. Appreciate that. And
2.2 million successful. Plus, is it 2.2 million people playing? Most of those people are Chinese, and we all know communists aren't people. So
right. Well, as pointed out, this is not a Souls-like game. As pointed out by the developer,
it's not really a joke, but
right. This is it's like an action adventure game, as the developer likes to put it. So it's not a Souls-like. It's not meant to be exceptionally hard along the way. But the response to this has been ridiculously overwhelming. But so let's take a step back. What about that IGN article? They were clearly wrong along the way. Have they retracted that article? Well, we saw it earlier. The obvious
have they
answer is
retracted their Alien Isolation review? Come on, please.
Well, the person who wrote this article has gone private along the way. And they went private, and her name is Rebecca Valentine. Pronouns in the bio, obviously, along the way, and proudly a member of the IGN union, says no longer on Twitter, but although so much so that they're no longer on Twitter that they feel the need to private their account just today. And I was like, who is this person? And I also was blocked, even though I've never spoken to this person in my life. So, all right, but no retraction.
I'm curious. I'm going to look this up. I'm going to say, I bet you anything. It's Blockbot. Totally.
Yeah. But so no retraction at all from this. And, that's kind of where it's at. And Kongman came in with this tweet along the way. And, this could interesting. It says Black Myth Wukong has become the most played single player game of all time on Steam with over 2 million concurrent players. Looks like you don't need to be a game.
I'm more blocked than one of Louis Anderson's arteries. Fantastic.
You're blocked as well. Blabs, are you blocked?
I don't know. What's her last name again?
Her name is just
Rebecca with a K, an A, and an H for some reason.
Yeah, but what's the last name?
Valentine.
Oh,
there you go.
Hilarious last name.
Just curious.
As in
not a whole lot of love.
Never gets.
Yes.
No, I'm not blocked. Just protected.
Yeah, they have gone protected. Victor says you don't have to support either. Save your money, invest in your family until these industries collapse. Play classic games until then. There you go, Victor. Let them know. Alpha came in, says with the 5, says niche in the West. Sure, Journey to the West is Asia's Lord of the Rings. Also, China funds ESG and DEI to the tune of billions to further denigrate the West. Thank you, Alpha. Appreciate that.
Listen, if it's a great game, and from what I've seen, it looks fun and great for the people who bought it. But for me personally, I'm if it's an actual great game, celebrate it. Don't just celebrate it because it's to the DEI people. And that's my whole thing with the Hogwarts Legacy shit. And let's be real, so many people on our side did that, and they're yeah, Hogwarts Legacy suck at trans people. It's there's literally a tranny in there. Hello.
Because at that point, you are giving people you don't like control over you.
Exactly. And the real losers are the actual fans of these franchises because they're not actual great games, right? The real losers are the fans because they didn't actually get what they wanted because everyone had some type of agenda and ruined it for everybody else. That's my point.
What are you doing here? It's like the Ultimate Warrior on the ring rope.
This is my war dance.
Right.
Well, the response has definitely been overwhelming. Like I said, breaking single-player records on Steam. It'll be interesting to see if IGN actually does go in, respond, or make any sort of retraction or any sort of statement being like, yeah, we kind of messed up on that. And sorry about portraying an entire narrative around it. Like I said, these stories are not just black and white. There's a lot of layers associated with it. When these are layers that we get to talk about on a day-to-day basis. So it's important to kind of make the whole burger along the way, All right, let's go to something that burger.
But before we move off on this,
yes,
okay,
yes,
you have to understand what hypnotism is, right? People think hypnotism is I dangle a watch in front of your face and then you bark like a dog. No. Hypnotism is a real thing, but what it is it's basically hitting like nerves. It's plucking reflex actions. So if you're just averse to being told what to do, reverse psychology is kind of another way of saying hypnotism. So if they're telling you don't eat turds and you're like, I'll show you, I'll eat a turd, right? You've been hypnotized. Don't let them hypnotize you in this way, because that's what's happening. That's exactly what's happening there. If your reaction is not a sincere expression of your enjoyment of the game, you're a slave to what someone else wants you to do, period. Even if you think you're doing the opposite of what they want you to do, which you may not be, by the way.
Radial Drago came in and says, I think the problem is that it needed to be said at all. Politics, regardless or where it comes from, shouldn't be the basis of your reviews.
Exactly. How many reviews out there are about the politics of this game or Hogwarts Legacy or some other like really well, established video game? What about the gameplay? What about the story? No. Okay. No one talks this shit. Drives me nuts.
Student says, it's at least more appealing than Ninja Theory's version. But personally, I'd rather wait later for a sale. Since there will be bugs day one. That's true. There's always some sort of adjustment.
What was that terrible Ninja Gaiden ripoff from the 360 era?
The 360 one or the
because was it Ninja Blade? Was that it? That horrible ripoff of Ninja Gaiden? Remember that?
There were some very bad Ninja Gaiden clones.
Oh man, that was unplayable, that game.
All right. Also, wow, Retromeister came in with the $50 super chat. Says, hail scrollers. On the topic of backyard sports, there's an old Cartoon Network spy show called Codename Kids Next Door, which was the most revolutionary piece of animation to date. Oh, nice. It covered many hot topics compared to any show and was fun to watch. Well, Retromeister, thank you so much for that insane support. We appreciate that greatly. And thank you. Let's go.
Okay, I actually need to pull up this one right here from Jessica. Very little, if any, people bought Hogwarts because of the internet drama. Razor Blabs are lacking all knowledge on the game sales. They keep inserting their unqualified opinions and objective facts. Okay, so that is a false news, fake news.
No! Did you just give us, hey, Blabs, give us a
fake news.
You are fake news.
You are fake news. I can't do it. I'm a woman. But anyway, yes. I actually researched this. And if you watch my video, you will know that I said the biggest reason people picked up Hogwarts Legacy was because it was a Harry Potter Wizarding World video game. And there hasn't been one in like a decade plus. That was the biggest factor for it. However, if you actually see people talk about this game, they're like, yeah, it was okay, but I dropped it after like 2 weeks. Not a whole lot of people were like, yes, I'm going to go replay this game for the millionth time because it lacks a lot of things. Anyway, watch my video and you'll see it. 30 minutes worth.
I'll say this about that idea that most games have about a 2-week shelf life on them, right?
Yeah.
And you're not
like
wrong.
a month at the most for the really good ones.
True, but like everyone's like, I'm gonna replay this for every house because there's 4 of them and I'm gonna try it. But like it's the same outcome every single time. The replayability of that specific game was not good. There was no consequences whatsoever in that game.
Right, but people absolutely did buy that game just to stick it to the man. They're like, that was the number one sold game. Yes, absolutely.
You know what? Let me mitigate that just a little bit. I feel like that was more a phenomenon, not so much in the sales, but in the streaming, which probably did drive sales, to be fair. But I feel like there were people who streamed that game just to stick it to SJWs or whatever.
Oh yeah, there were people coming in all over on Twitch watching and just because they were so interested, and also they wanted to ruin the story for everyone who was streaming on Twitch. Like, there were people who knew the ending, they would come in and be like, this happens, but like, yes, so many people tuned in on Twitch.
Right. And when you look at like Hogwarts, someone mentioned there's over 8,000 people playing Hogwarts Legacy right now on Steam. Like, yeah, so right now there are 8,000 people playing that game on Steam right now. Now the game is over a year old. It was released.
But at correction, though, there was a big update that happened in the last few months where people were able to access a new quest. That was probably, in my opinion, the best thing about the entire game, an exclusive PlayStation 5 quest that was now on PC a year and a half later. So that is also why people are still playing that game, because of the new quest.
There is something to this, though. I mean, obviously, a game that's been out for over a year, you don't expect it to carry the number of, its all-time peak. It had, 500,000 people playing it at one time. To put that in perspective, Hogwarts Legacy was a viral moment, and Black Myth Wukong is 4x that. Yeah. It's 4 times Hogwarts Legacy, specifically on Steam. So, and right now, that game, Black Myth Wukong it still has over 1 million people playing it. Now, it's seen a tremendous drop off in the last 6 hours. I'm sure a lot of that has to do with people going to work and things like that. And we'll see it pop back up this evening when people go back and they sit down in front of their PCs or whatever. So,
well, is there a multiplayer component to it? Because that tends to be what keeps games like this go. If it's just the single player, that's just going to drop off naturally. That happens to even the most popular games, right?
I don't believe there's a multiplayer element to it. I believe it's just a single player experience. So, all right. Master Gawa says it's not a question of which commies to support. We elect Dems all the time. Mass appeal for Wukong came from Digital Foundries for the same reason Witcher 3 and CP 2077 were hyped. People are graphic whores. That's true. The game does look like a graphical. It looks pretty good visually.
Can I rage real fast?
Considering Craig's descriptions, it looks like a graphical. Yeah.
I need to rage a little
bit. Put that on the game box, actually. I think.
This chick, Jessica, I did watch your video, used anecdotal information, came to a conclusion based off of any quantifiable data. It's your opinion based on very thin evidence. Evidence, you mean lore? The real lore that's been existed for over 20 years? Lore? That's thin evidence, Jessica?
Watch out. You got Blabs fired up about Harry Potter.
I know. Just
Don't
relax.
piss me
Blabs,
off.
If you want to fight with Jessica, you can do that on Twitter. That's the best place to do it.
No, I'm not going to fight with Jessica on Twitter. I'm done now. I'm just saying your argument's shit, Jessica. Thank you. Goodbye.
Okay. All right. Hey, Jessica, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. All right. And Blabs will definitely fight with you over on X.
I will not be fighting with anyone on X. It's pointless because you don't actually change people's minds on X. You just read into the oblivion.
Go follow Blabs, as that'll be the first thing she does as soon as she finishes. She's gonna find
Definitely
Jessica.
Not. It will not be.
Hey,
I am
Jessica.
done now.
F you.
Suck my dick, Jessica.
Yeah. And another thing, your mother is a silverback gorilla.
That's right. All right. Hey, guess what? We had some really fun news yesterday, as there was an announcement that they're going to talk about the new Nintendo Museum that's going to be opening in Japan coming up in October 2nd, which is very, very cool. The Nintendo Museum, which if you're a Nintendo freak like me, who it's tied to their childhood and nostalgia, and you still support them, hey, you're going to love this shit. They announced it. They showed it off for the first time. It looks very clean and nice. And you can see on the website exactly what is going on with this bad boy. It's meant to discover Nintendo's passion for and commitment to creating. And while a big part of it obviously will be video games, it also is going to talk about its history, Nintendo's history. And they released a video that kind of talked about the overall thing. It's about a 13-minute video where Miyamoto guides you through the whole place, and looks very, very cool. You know, it has some big controllers in the background. You can see that kind of represent the different eras. It has all the first-party games in the background, and it kind of shows.
Can you imagine just being Shigeru Miyamoto and you start out as this freaking toy company?
Yeah.
Like, and now you're walking through a museum of your digital work, like 30 plus 40 years later. Like, what? How did I even get here? Like, what happened? This is insane.
Yeah, right.
Well, and that's the thing. I think when Shigeru Miyamoto goes, I think Nintendo takes a huge step back because he is the driving force behind this, man.
Right.
But they do reference and they do talk about a lot of the things that came before all the Nintendo games, and they have distinct. And let's just check this out really quick as he talks about it.
展示しています。これはコピラスといってジアーズ式のコピー機です。
I'll just kind of go through here, like the stroller and the BB gun.
Dude, the repeater. What is this?
Yeah, man. There's all sorts of stuff in here. Board games that they had. So it's not just video games. It's like their whole history, which is really, really neat. And they have a number of interactive and exhibits along the way. And this is actually very, very cool. He talks about here at the beginning of when he joined Nintendo in 1977, they would go to these break rooms, and they've recreated these break rooms for these little exhibits that they have. And one of them is for this this more or less baseball pitcher, where they would send the game, and they turned it into kind of like one of those shooting galleries that you'd play at like Six Flags or the Carnival, to where when you hit the ball, as Miyamoto is going to take a swing here,
nice.
you hit the ball and it hits an area, and there's interactive.
Sign him up for the Diamondbacks. He can't do worse.
But it has interactive elements to it, which I think is like really, really fun. And then they have,
I like it.
Yes.
This
then they
is
have
really neat.
Yes. They have a light gun game where you can play with the Super Scope or the Zapper, which is very, very cool. And you play like a shoot 'em up game where you just go around, or I guess like a, not a really shoot 'em up game, but you're shooting and you're shooting all the stuff like Hogan's Alley almost, which is really, really neat. I saw this and I am beyond excited to check this out. And if they did one of these in Europe, oh my God, or in specifically the United States, maybe New York or
New York or LA or San Francisco or something, some big city.
They also have, and this looks very, very fun. You can play classic games on giant controllers.
Or here's an idea. Don't they have a Nintendo themed like land in, is it Disney World or something?
No, it's in Florida.
Universal.
You could take this museum and replicate it there as part of the attractions.
Oh my God, that'd be spectacular.
Japan has this, and Japan also has Nintendo Land at Universal Japan.
So take a look at this really quick. As you're playing with the old Famicom controller down here, and they go through and he's playing with a staff member, and they get the flagpole, and that's fun. But look at the people in the background here. Look at all the old controllers that they're playing with, specifically the Wiimotes that they're playing. Like they're holding the Wiimotes up.
Awesome. Teamwork.
And that's still like half the size of an original Xbox controller.
The Duke. But they've only showed off 3 of the interactive elements of this. But man, I got to be honest, this gets me excited. This really does. You can make your own hamburger. Yeah, man.
I'm excited. Like they have all these type of foods that like Universal Japan, like Nintendo themed, like mushroom soup and everything. I'm excited.
Yeah.
The thing is, so I actually looked into like the tickets for this, and since it's Japan, it's based on a lottery. So like you have to like try to get tickets, and then if you get it, then you gotta pay.
Jesus, like Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. What is this crap?
Yeah, so if you actually go, you can show them the process, Craig. When you click on like buy tickets, they'll be like, by the way, here's a lottery. It's like, what? Yeah.
Well, I'll say this You know what would be really cool, Blabs, is to potentially, and I don't think they'd ever do this, but it would be very cool to go to Japan, do the show from the Nintendo Museum.
The cafe. We can have soup while we stream.
Oh, that'd be so.
I've never seen anyone. I don't think you're allowed to be this excited over soup.
I love soup.
I'm
Now-
picturing Shigeru Miyamoto walking through here going, the snozberries taste like snozberries.
Now there was actually a very important thing that happened during this presentation. This video that of Shigeru Miyamoto guiding you through this. How do you pronounce what the Nintendo console that came out in the 80s, Razor? The Nintendo Entertainment System. How do you say that shorthand? Like, if someone's like, hey, I'm going to go play, do you say, I'm going to play the Nintendo, I'm going to play the NES, I'm going to go play the NES, right? How do you say it?
Nintendo. It was always Nintendo.
Okay.
Which unfortunately created a precedent for your parents, because from then on, every console they got you at Christmas was a Nintendo. It didn't matter what it was.
So Shigeru Miyamoto confirmed the proper way to say it. It's primarily the difference has been the NES, which is, I hear that all the time when it comes to
Sounds
people.
like you're sneezing.
Well, primarily in Europe, I think that's where most people said it was the NES. I didn't hear it a whole lot in the States, but I've heard that from people who over in the UK in particular.
Yeah.
But Miyamoto confirmed that it's actually the NES.
Yeah.
So you say, I'm going to play the NES for short. Confirmed by Nintendo. My entire childhood has been validated.
Yes.
And that is spectacular.
Suck it, Euro trash.
That's right. All yellow. Ridiculous.
America stay winning.
That's right. Always love it. So anyways, I'm beyond excited for this as a Nintendo freak. This seems like that's something that'd be really cool. And if it's Nintendo, it's going to be quality. You know that. We used to be able to say that about companies like Disney. We can't say that anymore.
No.
And I very much fear the day that Miyamoto dies, because I hope that Nintendo doesn't take that step back in quality. But they're going to do a good job on it. So, all right, let's go ahead and let us go. Let's go.
I think you're supposed to say, let's go.
Let's go. Andiamo.
That's right. All right, we have one more story before we finish the day. And that is, I'm sorry, gentlemen, you normal men. Your hobby is the least attractive hobby.
None of you are getting laid today.
According to men.
Oh, no, not to purse face, overly serious, clipped haired slags who work for major media companies. Oh, man. Darn.
So I don't know where this came from. This is the least attractive hobbies for men, according to women.
Yeah.
And this is an unattractiveness score.
Where does posting cunty things like this on social media rank with men? Where does that?
So
that's high on the list, you stupid sow.
I like how bird watching made the cut.
Yes. So put yourself in the shoes of a woman, Blabs, here. All right. And
what is a woman? I don't know.
Right. Okay, well, let's spend 45 minutes attempting in vain to define what a woman is first.
That's right. But
I'm sure tits doesn't help. I don't know.
I will say this, the idea of like bird watching, if you meet a bird watcher, okay. Like if the guy's like, I'm really into bird watching, like, all right.
Why not? It's peaceful. Good for them.
Sure. But you can see several things here along the lines that would definitely be considered nerddom, right?
Yeah, like taxidermy.
Yeah, you're right. Comic book collecting. I would say building model trains. That's pretty nerdy along the way. Online
building model what year
building
is it?
Cooper.
Right.
What year is it? Is there a rash of model train builders?
I have a train. I have a Lionel set. Granted, it's the Hogwarts Express, though.
I'm sorry, Nigel. You can't build your model set today. My goodness, it's 1919.
That's right.
Go down to the Bronx Social.
Also, if you're into magic, guys, I'm sorry. If you can make a card, if you do card tricks or make a nickel appear behind someone's ear. Sorry, not very attractive.
I think that's cool. That's charming.
Collecting figurines, like my little wheelchair-ridden beast battler over here.
There you go.
And of course, playing video games is the least attractive hobby for men, according to women. I mean, look, it appears, guys, that we are just straight out of luck.
Can we talk about the fact that online trolling is now considered like a quasi vocation?
A hobby. This is the least stress.
What?
Right.
I know some people for which it is basically both hobby and job, but
yes, this is true. We've all met those people along the way.
Wow.
But Blabs, as a woman,
it's called trolling. It's called we do a little trolling.
Did you assume my gender, Craig?
I did, Blabs. I did. And if you
apologize on the internet.
No, I will not.
I'm trying to troll on the internet. So you guys,
that's right. Oh, I'm sorry, Blabs. I don't find that very attractive from a man to a woman.
If you like swap this too, a lot of women are never gonna get laid ever again. Then.
Right. Like video games are a thing that is, it's a cultural thing. It's not like a nerdy thing.
It's well,
how many girls play Fortnite?
What's that, Razor?
Sorry, could you go back to that list real quick?
Yes.
One thing I'm not seeing is movies. And
I guess
video games are more popular and successful than movies.
Yes. Yes.
Here's my thinking for movies based on Liz's like tweet and everything. It's because you can make out in movie theaters, and that's what she wants.
Yeah. No. You don't understand. Playing video games isn't quite as social an activity as sitting in a dark theater not talking to the person you're next to.
No, you totally can't give your man a BJ while he's playing a video game.
Liz Wheeler. I don't really
accept it.
Yeah, no joke. Who was it? Who's the guy we were talking about earlier? The musician?
Carlos Mencia.
No. Anyway,
scary looking dude, Marilyn Manson.
Marilyn Manson. He can do it in video games for himself.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So I don't know who Liz Wheeler is. The Liz Wheeler Show, almost 1 million followers, says this is 100% true. Men playing video games is peak unattractive, beyond red flag, like deal breaker zone. It's weird that so many dudes don't get this. Like I said, I don't know. You know who Liz Wheeler?
She looks like a ferret. I'm just pointing it out there.
I was gonna say Cocker Spaniel, but
yeah, good point. I see. I just watched on the playback.
Great question, Norm. Who did make this list? Soccer moms and 9-year-old boomers. That's a great question.
I think Liz Wheeler did.
No, but if she finds these hobbies super unattractive, she and a lot of women who agree with her are going to be super duper lonely because so many men do these things. Yeah. And it's not even like really nerdy. Just think about how many times a guy comes home from work and he just wants to play Call of Duty, like a normie, or Fortnite, you know? And how many women play Fortnite or like Phasmophobia or like Fall Guys or on their mobile phones, right? Because girls make up 50% because it's mobile gaming. So it's like, you swap it and what happens?
Well, and her rationale behind it is even worse because it's just, it's a completely insular, antisocial activity. And it's like how many centuries have women been like knitting and crocheting for? Is that a deeply social activity? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, there's no shortage of female activities that are not. Is gardening a super social activity?
Lizzie has a skill diff, okay? That's what she's trying to say. She can't play. She can't hang.
That's actually like a really good question. Or like, what are the least attractive hobbies the other way around for women according to men? And that'd be kind of a funny viral response to this, a post back to it. It just is like, I don't know, like being an online hag or something along those lines. But
being Lizzie.
That's right. So anyways,
it's just cringe. Like, okay, I would think she would agree with Glenn Jacobs. Do you know who Glenn Jacobs is, Kane?
Yes, of course.
Politically, I would think he is not only based, but more based than Liz Wheeler. Straight up, objectively. And he's the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee.
Yep.
Kane is the biggest dork on planet Earth. He got a huge acreage ranch just so he can play paintball with his buddies.
Let's go.
And he's a giant video gamer. And he could talk circles around Liz Wheeler in terms of macroeconomics and conservatism and whatever, and traditional morality. Is that he actually is living out his traditional morality instead of taking filtered photos and posing in sundresses pretending to be trad. That
I volunteer Henry Cavill.
I think it's a skill issue, Liz.
Yeah, David is right. Poor Henry Cavill. Poor guy. He's got
No
no
luck
chance.
with the women. None of them are just throwing their underwear at him as he walks by. Nah.
Andrew says, in response to Liz, what are you doing out of the kitchen?
Back in the kitchen, Lizzie.
Oh, I was like, don't you have a sandwich to make, Liz?
Whoa! Wait, can she define what is a woman? Because then, if she can, then the entire thread is just redundant.
I think that she can. I think that she can.
Oh, is she like a super conservative person who's like anime is the devil? Is she like one of those weirdos?
Probably.
That's what I'm guessing.
It sounds like female Matt Walsh.
Yeah. Lizzie and Matt should meet.
Victor says, why do these people make it complicated? Men who aren't in control of their hobbies are unattractive. If you can't stop gaming, bird watching, etc., you aren't going to be available for the relationship. Right. Yeah. And there's truth to that, right? When you overexert yourself into your hobby, so much so that it removes you from your relationship, then that's where the issue is. It doesn't matter if you're lifting weights or playing video games. If you're too much into it, you're not there for your girl, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we all know the guy who used to be fat and then working out becomes his new personality. Mm-hmm. Is that guy any more social? You know what I mean? He's spending all his time, in a cloud of protein powder farts, lifting freaking barbells. Is that super social? Is that something that's going to bring you and your wife closer? Not so much. Not so much.
Hey, John came into the 5, says, bro, quit building your train. You're scaring the hose.
I think there's nothing wrong with building trains. Think about how horrible the world is right now. What other guys are doing out there, drunks, grape, all this stuff. Let freaking Charlie build his train in peace, Lizzie. Shut the fuck up. I'm just saying, goddamn, let them build the trains.
Blabs, there's going to be a day where some Uber nerd, you make some Uber nerd really happy. Where you're like, hey, you build your trains, honey. You play your video game.
What's wrong with that?
I love it. That's great. Hey, Dirtus King says, so women find having Warhammer armies more attractive than gaming? I doubt that. I highly doubt that.
I think she files that under model trains.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right, let's go to our final palate cleanser here before we get to your support. But Gaming Newfie also says, nice try, Liz Wheeler. We've never abandoned our gaming culture so you can hijack it to preach more cultural degeneracy towards our kids. Go back to your soy lattes and leave the kids alone. Godspeed. There you go. Appreciate it.
Did you see George Alexopoulos' response to her?
No.
It was good. He basically pointed out the obvious. The problem with this is, and I agree with it, the problem with her assertion is basically it assumes that she is by default a highly desirable person who brings more to the table than the video games. That's really the issue. He's like, It sounds like you're upset because you're not bringing as much to the table to a man as a video game is. And that's a truth bomb right there.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so I'm looking at some of the responses to this, and this guy over here is like, he just goes, fuck. And he's got the online troll. It's like, oh shit, I'm screwed. That's funny stuff. By the way, Angry Salt Shaker came into the tent, says, nice trolling, Craig. You showing off the Y2K trailer had my power go out mid-trailer. Had to swap my phone to keep watching. Power just came back on. Keep up the great work. Also, Hellraiser, waiting patiently for the next Metal Mythos. Godspeed. Thanks, Angry Salt Shaker. Appreciate that. That's great stuff. All right, let's go on to our palate cleanser of the day after weeding through all the insanity in the space. I can't think of a better palate cleanser than pure adulterated violence. So let's check this out.
Adulterated violence? What is that?
Yeah.
Violence that cheats on other violence?
Yeah, what does that mean, bro?
I don't know. Just violence. Here, let's check it out.
Okay.
Violence on a lake.
Woo! 42! Scallywag 78! Ready, high!
Oh!
That
God,
was
that poor
intense.
boat.
Is the
I
boat
mean,
okay?
That's
He
a
leveled him.
shame.
I'm just saying, he came in and he destroyed that guy. It's pretty good stuff. I literally giggled when I saw this.
Is he
I
wearing a
didn't-
tutu?
Yeah,
That's
of
a
course he
girl.
is.
That's a
Yeah.
girl?
That's a girl. A theoretical.
No, that's a guy. That's a guy.
Is it?
That's a guy. I think.
Look at
I
those
think what he-
biceps. I would hope it's a guy, because otherwise, yeesh,
Did
poor
you just
Gertrude.
assume?
I did. I assumed its gender, naming him Gertrude with biceps.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to play off maybe the Ace Ventura thing where he has the skirt on at the mental institution.
Yeah.
Remember that, right?
I think he'll have a skirt on at a mental institution pretty soon if he takes a few more whacks like that.
I did not. By the way, this guy, let's watch that one more time. Just how much he gets leveled.
Oh,
man.
man.
He gets like this guy nails him.
Like a Chris Brown dinner date.
Ready, high!
By the way, this boat just comes out of nowhere. You're not
Right?
expecting.
How do you not know? They had to have seen it. This
Yes,
was like they were trying to do something.
No, I think this was definitely planned. 100% planned along the way. This guy came in and just nailed him.
Oh!
And he comes up.
He's
like,
dead.
He may
He's
be dead. Full, look at the full body to body, chest to chest right here.
Yeah.
I mean, he just
This honestly, this is gonna have JR announcing over it before the day is out.
My God, he's got to be dead.
Stop the damn match! He's got a family, damn it!
Oh, God.
If that was WWE, I would watch it every week.
Oh, that's great stuff. Anyways, yeah. We're gonna try to deliver you guys a palate cleanser towards the end of the show every single day. So there you go. And you guys
I
can-
have a really good one for the rest of the week.
All right. Love it. All right. Blabs, do me a quick favor. Do a glance through the super chat. See if there's anything in there for Razor, because we're going to give him an opportunity to bounce here in a second. But with that said, we are going to get to your super chats and your Rumble rants and your direct donations. Guys, we genuinely appreciate your support over here. Thank you guys very much for everything you guys do and allowing us to do this show on a day-to-day basis, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Central Time. A quick reminder that in just a second, a quick reminder that if you guys head over to sidescrollerspodcast.com, that is the best place for us to support. Tomorrow, we have an exclusive video going up there that will only be available to our supporters over on sidescrollerspodcast.com, as I have gotten Blabs to react to the trailer to the 1987 Arnold Schwarzenegger classic, Predator.
Oh, nice.
So we
somehow
will see.
I thought that was going to be Commando.
No, we may get there, but you can see Blab's raw reaction to it tomorrow exclusively over on Side Scrollers Podcast.
I reviewed that, by the way.
Yeah, and what did you think of it?
I love that movie. I love it.
Oh man, well, we'll find out if Blabs has any.
I ain't got time to bleed.
That's in the trailer. What a
Of
great
course
line.
it is. Back in the day, they gave away the whole movie.
Yes, yeah, pretty much. All right, Blabs, what do we got?
Okay, the Marine member for 3 months says, Razor Fist, did you see what EDF 6 devs did? On release day, they snuck in that you must sign up for Epic Spyware's store to play multiplayer. Refunded.
Yeah, I heard about that. It sucks because EDF, man, with Helldivers 2 going down in flames, dude, EDF could have jumped in and stolen some of that, user base or whatever, but they done ruined it by incorporating, Epic Games Store. Probably Epic Games paid them off and they just couldn't say no to the check. But that's a shame because that series is great. If you want your Helldivers fix, play the previous EDF games. Seriously, play like EDF 5.
Norm says, Morning Razor, with Cisco Day happening 10 days from now, how do you plan to celebrate the coming of Bajaran Space Jesus?
I'm planning to abandon my space son. It's fine.
Okay. Master Gamma says, how do you not know that Styx infiltrating the show as Razor? Also, Blabs threatened us with Blabs is hot. Craig, stop burning those kids in Pal World. Okay. I thought that was more of a question. Anyway, Doranus says, Razor, top solo hunt advice besides learning map.
Top hunt solo advice. Learn the maps. Learn the maps and learn the ins and outs of all the different compounds. And when you're shooting stuff, be aware that muzzle velocity is a bigger issue than anything else. So you need to lead your shots with every gun and use the same guns over and over again so you can get that down.
Elder Chicken says, Razor, you should check out the theology thread on your Discord server. The normal men there would love to have a chat with you. This one we sort of answered already. Thank you, Benjamin, for that one. That was about the president's gaming. Scroll, la 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 la. Mercenary says, also, Razor does scene. Alice Cooper makes me that one.
Already read that one.
Yeah. Thanks, Craig, for removing. Great job. Champion says, hey, Razor, any old school games you play regularly?
Old school games that I play regularly. Yeah, I play Tetris a lot. I do on my phone.
Oh,
I have Tetris on my... Dude, Tetris just is always a banger. It's just always good.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Good stuff. Delta came in with 5. Says, hey, Razor, have you heard of the Red Green Show? Grew up watching it with my grandfather 2 decades ago. Gimmick was 2 elderly men who run a lodge makeshifting field equipment. Turns out they're still alive and doing similar stuff online now. You ever heard of the Red Green Show?
If women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. I love that show. I love that show.
Delta says, to be fair, Razor, Mecha Break, which is also Chinese, catered to the niche ass who wants to play a real Gundam game. Somehow Mecha Break popped up in 2 years and is massive now. Wukong, be damned, because I'm not downloading a 100 gigabyte game anytime soon. There you go. Thanks, Delta.
Over on Locals, Just G asked Razor, saying, hey, Razor, what fucking house spawn? Run, strive. Remember the 5 Ds. Play, hunt, showdown.
What?
Okay.
I don't know.
What that
I don't know what I just read, but thanks, Just G. Mercenary says, I sent Razor a copy of Wukong, so he didn't have to.
Oh, wow.
Well, thank you.
Mighty Megatron over on Rumble says, this is for Razor. AP for Liberty here on Rumble wants you to get you on a show. Will you do it? AP for Liberty. Do you have any idea who that is?
Yeah, Austin Peterson. I think, yeah, I'm down for that. I've just been sick for the last, I'm just getting over it the last few days. So,
yeah,
I've been getting a lot of messages and haven't responded to a lot of them.
Riley says, hail side scrollers, hail Razor, love into the deaths. Hope there's more to come. Okay, Riley, thank you very much. That is excellent. And do we have any more for Razor?
Victor for 10 says, I love the fact that Razor brought up reflexivity. Until you understand that you are manipulated by forces controlling your environment, you can't actually do anything about it. Thank you, Victor. And I think I got everybody's questions. If not, apologies.
Awesome.
Bitchin'. We're 90s. Look at that. We're going to go to the Y2K next.
Yes!
Right.
I'm going to wear really baggy clothing and frost my hair.
Oh, hey, how much would it cost?
Wallet chains.
Oh, man. Razor,
You
how
got
much
to walk
would
with
it care?
the boombox on your shoulders.
What? What decade?
Yeah, Blab's 1980s called, and they want their...
What are you talking
their
about?
back.
No. In the 90s in Clueless, some of them have a boombox.
Do you remember when they briefly tried to bring back the boom boxes on the shoulders with the JVC Kaboom box? Remember that?
Yes. Yes.
Thing looked like a laser cannon from BattleTech. Like it didn't even... I don't even know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you what, Razor. We can talk about boom boxes on the shoulders all day long, and I could have that conversation with you, but I do want to give you an opportunity to get out of here. So do us a favor. Thanks, Blabs, for the dance. Tell everybody where they can find all your work, both literally and literally. No, you're
linguistically, hopefully.
Yeah, that too, and your online work.
Craig not found.
Yes. YouTube.com/c/TheRageaholic. I am on Twitter. X.com now /Razorfist with a 0, whatever crap that is. I'm all over the place, folks. And there'll be more videos coming your way very, very soon. Thank you for having me on, folks.
Of course, buddy. We're glad you're healthy again. We're going to finish up these super chats and then say au revoir ourselves. Have a great day, buddy.
Godspeed to each and every one of you.
All right, buddy. We'll catch you later.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Yay. It just sounded like, God bless us.
Sorry, I have to say that in its native language. Anyway, so long, folks. Goodbye.
See you, Razor. Have a good day, buddy. All right. Once again, over on Rumble, we have Emperor Creatine says, Shalom. I love your show so much. I want to give you $50. He gave us $5, by the way. Please put these 30 to good use. That's right, $10 whole straight from my wallet, and he gave us $5, which is great. Thank you so much, Emperor Creatine. And Lance Corporal Hawk says, I finally got a paid voice acting gig in a indie game called Universal Conquest. I voice the reptile faction, and it should be added. In a month or so. Check it out on Steam. Nice, Lance Corporal Hawk. Congratulations. That's awesome, man. We got some talented folks in our audience. Frostlord says something that both Kirsch and Kabrutus have talked about is the DEI rebrand known as I&D. Firms are also encouraging companies to keep quiet about the initiatives. Just something to think about. Yes, absolutely. And Slagla says, so why is everyone so happy a game from a country that implanted DEI in our countries is forcing its population to buy it? So we think it's a good game. Monkeys are cool, though. And Orion Pack says, there's a pseudo Y2K event this year. So this movie coming out this year is also kind of funny. Is there supposed to be some sort of like Y2K event in 2024, 2025?
I have no idea.
Oh, I don't know. Lone Wolf says, how many people will even remember Y2K? I do. Slagla says, remember when you pay for Black Myth, you're giving money to a country that started the DEI and wokeness crap in our homeland. Thank you, Slaglust. He followed up saying games and movie studios are catching into the griftosphere. It's easy for them to pitch a mid-game or movie if they do the basic, it's not woke. And Gary and Co will just eat it up for their views. I don't know. I mean, I think there is an element to that. They have started to see that there's an audience for that. He followed up saying Black Myth has so many players because it's targeted to over 1 billion demographic, the Chinese people. Saint says, for the most part, Nintendo is the best console for first-time gamers. Great for kids to start playing video games. I agree. And Dude came in and says, modern women hate it when men have a hobby that takes them away from being on their pedestal 24/7. They aren't worth our time anyways. And Lone Wolf says, I'm wondering why Norman Bates' hobby is so low on the list. You mean bird watching? And B. Barrett says, women don't like when men run trains. No, B. Barrett, stop it. It's ridiculous. All right. And we do have a bunch more super chats, and we will get to all those. Bizarre Star came in with a $5 direct donation. Says, I know the whole bird thing. Hold on. I know the whole bird wards thing was a little shady when Craig showed a picture of one of his kids. Oh, burnt ward. When one of his kids, and it was just a picture of the toxic adventure. Easy, Bizarre Star. Teebs picked up a brand new Normal Man t-shirt. Says, we're just normal men. Thanks, Teebs. Appreciate that. Emperor Creatine says, let's get some good 90s nostalgia in here. 1998 long weekend for Blockbuster. You can pick up one movie, a game, and a snack. For me, Ocarina of Time, Rush Hour, and Sour Patch Straws. Make your selections now. Ooh, that's a good one, Emperor Creatine.
I like Sour Patch.
You know, I think that's a great pick across the board. Although I don't think you're going to be able to finish Ocarina of Time in a weekend, Emperor Creatine, in 1998. It's going to take you a lot longer than that. But good luck with that. What about you, chat? What would you pick up? 1998, you can pick up a movie, a game, and a snack. Damels came in and says, guns are the only reason we aren't the UK. I don't disagree. The Grateful Gamer came in at the 5, says, Y2K is just Seth Rogen's This Is the End, but in the year 2000, with no star power whatsoever. Wukong is probably mid, but fun. Sweet Baby Stink tried to extort Wukong does, but they said F off. But it's not anti-woke. There's no fan service or hetero folk. All right. Thank you very much, The Grateful Gamer. All right, let's get to our super chats.
Okay. Well, first of all, locals. Spoon Ninja says, Harley going woke is like McDonald's going vegan. Not watching any Australian shows nowadays. We lost all our balls. They got cut off. Just G says it's a comedy horror, so Rachel Zegler's life at the moment, the Y2K flick. And then Spoon Ninja sent a photo saying Conan's studying at Hogwarts. You're a wizard, Conan. Thanks. And then Just G says Razor, Hellspawn boss, your feelings. Blabs nuked the last one. Stop. You sent that after he left. Sorry. Thank you. Alan says, why do dogs always race to the door when the doorbell rings? It's almost never for them. Ron McDonald. Thank you very much. Commodore says, what was that evil mirror universe Blabs in the thumb? Yeah, why are there two of me? Just saying.
You know what? I need to get some more people in there.
You should replace the crazy one with someone else. Thank you.
Do you not like crazy?
No, I'm not a big fan of it. No.
What are you
it makes
talking
me
about?
look insane. And like I'm already insane, so like we don't need to like put more emphasis on it. Thanks. Anyway. Matthew says, Blabs did great. She pressed all the buttons. Yes.
She did.
Alan says, thoughts on a new Beetlejuice movie? I haven't.
I'm very intrigued by it. Very intrigued. I outside of that, that's all I can say.
Carpet University, great name, says, I saw Star Wars The Acolyte got canceled. I'm happy that trash is gone. Yeah, we were going to talk about it today, but we ran out of time, so maybe tomorrow. Raven the Red says, Plebes makes Blab saying, but why? A reoccurring soundbite. Maybe. Benjamin says, one of my grand aunts is into WWE and WWF. She's in her 70s. She started watching religiously after her husband passed like 20 years ago. Good for her. Dimio says, a side scrolls podcast without clickbait title.
Well, I don't think we've ever done clickbait titles. We just told you what we're going to talk about. But you know, we're changing our titles so it's a little more consistent on a day-to-day basis, and we're probably use the same thumb on a day-to-day basis too. So, you know, just heads up.
Mercenary says, we got that one already. Thanks so much, Craig, for unchecking these. Look up Jim Carrey Verdi Milo and tell me you think he will get canceled or not. Never heard of it.
Thanks, Joey. Appreciate that.
Gokai says, but you've forgotten Living Color's true cultural contribution. Your mama's so fat. Jokes. Riley says, I'm watching on YouTube and Rumble. Fun all around. Well, thank you for watching twice. Durana says, Chicom video game so base for not being woke. Stealth says, if you were alone in the woods, would you rather go with a Bears fan or a Packers fan? That's a sports reference I don't get.
That is.
Scarvis Strange says, what's that ginger from Y2K when you need him? You mean a Weasley? Master Gawa says, trophy wife is a double entendre. Chicks that like taxidermy more than gaming probably wanted to be taxidermied into trophies for your gaming shelf. Ew. Anyway. The Neck Master says, check the stream charts for Dustborn VOK3 Gamer N1. What on earth did you say to me?
Thanks, Snake Master.
Brother says, Backyard Sports. That's a name I've not heard in a long time. A long time. Antipathy says, Yorg, matey, not giving a Chinese company my money. Thank you very much. James says 2,223. Oh, what? 2 million. Sorry, 2,223. 179 peak. LOL. The game is great. Good. I'm glad it is. Rebound says enemy of my enemy is my ally, but not my friend. AG Buwalda says, hey, Craig, been following.
AJ.
I'm woman. AJ says, hey, Craig, been following me since the Screw Attack days. You gatewayed me into Kersha. I did not know they were base VTubers.
Well, we're hoping to do more stuff with Kirsten soon. Would love to have her. She's been busy trying to buy a house.
Miku says, can we not applaud games for non-ESG?
I think you can applaud whatever you want. That's the beauty of the show.
Gooseyum says, in my circle, Wukong was the Journey to the West adaptation game. Some people I know are Dragon Ball fans that want to play the game. Yep. Insane Hippie says, Casey Kasem was also the original voice of Shaggy from the Scooby-Doo cartoon, if I recall correctly.
I'm Casey Kasem. Yep.
Christian says, Rebecca has me blocked. Never ever seen her page. I'm not blocked. I'm cool. Benjamin says, wasn't there a Ninja Gaiden back in 2012 that had elemental effects from Borderlands? Fire, electricity, corrosive, and you had combined EFX. I have no idea. Commodore fan says, I wonder if Big N omits their Love Hotel history.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see if Nintendo references that part of their business. Do you know what a Love Hotel is, Blabs?
Is that where people bang?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the Japanese version of the Bang Hotel, right?
Wow.
but
Nintendo had that?
but they're like themed rooms. So it's, like one may be a Valentine's room, one may be like an S&M room, one may be, there's all sorts of different themes in each rooms, and you can like rent them for a specific time. I'm just saying they're huge in Japan. Huge.
Thanks for letting me know. Okay,
well, you're going soon. I'm just telling you.
What, you want me to go find one? Be like, look, guys, I found one. Record. Not record, but like, look at the photo of the room.
Listen, Blabs, if you found one in Japan, then you will find one. But
anyway,
if you find
Miku
one,
says, will Nintendo acknowledge Ikigami? I don't know. Stay at home Hippo says museum looks awesome, but I feel like if they brought the museum, they would need security systems in place to fight off Jason Bourne for possible robberies. Those giant remotes would be priceless. I'm sure there's like a string or something, like a chain attached to them. Mo says, just find out what the most attractive hobby is. Probably like working out, 18th century candle making, and pick that up. It'll cancel out the video. Benjamin says, normal ugly men, thoughts on lean beef patty? What? Like first of all, Craig, you muted, but like a hamburger? I like hamburgers.
like a 97, like a 93.7 lean beef hamburger. Make it get some fat. Sorry, go ahead.
I like cheeseburgers. Anyway, Lieutenant Sliver says, wow, Blobs is a secret foamer, a trains enthusiast. No, I don't really care all that much about trains. I'm just like, if somebody wants to collect trains and play with them, cool. Benjamin says, Warframe has a 1999 expansion in Questline coming out this year, and it deals with the Y2K bug, if that's what people are thinking about.
Interesting.
Okay, and then Anzac says, howdy, you guys, howdy.
Howdy, Anzac, howdy. All right, hey. Korean lean beef patty is a fitness YouTuber. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
we were talking about hamburgers. I'm like, dude, I'm hungry.
Yeah, it is impossible to know who are the every creator is ever. That's the very hard thing to do. All right, let's get out of here, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with us all the way to the end today. Always a pleasure to have you guys in, and we genuinely appreciate any and all support you guys provide for us, allowing us once again to do this Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central Time. We want you guys to have a great rest of your day. Make sure you guys go check out Blab's new video over on our channel. The link is down below. Obviously, we're going to have some videos going up throughout the afternoon. We will definitely be taking clips out of this about the Black Myth Wukong stuff and the Nintendo Museum and gaming, making you unattractive and stuff. So make sure you guys tune in, watch the clips of the show as they are released on a day-to-day basis throughout the afternoon. But as always, we'll be back tomorrow when we're back at it again, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Central Time. In the meantime, remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal? Go get it. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.